حسس كنو فلنا نفريه بلا كنتبع لنا سبسي أي تفرحي نحق فرح نزقيها فرحي
سلام زي خبركم تخطاتبتي مكوانا بتيدي بريس بدحان متاخم ابزناي لهم معنتي عسر شمونتي حملة تشحن إسران أربعتن بزي نايلومي خمتي تفلتو بزي أمريكا مالتيو نفسه كيف زكايد نفسه كيف 4 عام زكايد بريزيدنتاوي هاجراوي مريصا بزي مسألو بزي مسدلو حدار زكايد الورحي بمغرابو خدتيوم مالت ديمقراطن ريبابليكان هاجراو علن غسغاسن زكايدلو كنه وتجميرو خمزلو فليتكم اللهم مالتيو ديمقراط أبزمت ورحي كاب 10 شعتك كسب إسران كلتن نحاسة وعلوم ويكا جوايهم كايدو مخانومي تفليت دلو أبزي لهم غناها بوجن ريبابليكانز مالتي 10 حمشيك كسب 10 شمونته كسالهم عن تسعة حجي مالتي سيلف ريبابليكان أب ويسكانسن كايدو وزغني وعلا ني بريسيدنت ترامب كان حصي غيرهم بمرات بريزيدنت ترامب مدرز اسمع له زلو واني بزحجي وان مالتيو بريزيدنت نبر ترامب زعباتي فتنة قتلتن زعبا مستمر صخ جبرو زدليو مدبات حدا تقصل لقطع متتلق أنا هزارب كلنا بزياتي قدما بيله سلزي أبت أخيبا كدمي بريزيدنت ترامب مزرابو ودوني بيل جرام وانجلاوي فرانكلين أو تصلوات سمعينيرو نشتي ويكا حصر زبل قالاتونا ملقتون محلالي فنيرو مالتين هزبي أمريكان ترامب نصلي اللغات أميتات دلهم نساقم مأتويت كيرنا نابتناي بريسيدنت ترامب زربا خينا اسمعين زي بزحات سبات تقديسكم زعو زحاتكم اللهم تي اب أمريكا زلهم ريتشا بفلايكم تفولتو درجة 4 ورحي تريفود اللو حجي ناتخطاتلنا بزعو قصة هنقبرينا مالتيو زنا لهم معنتي نايدي فرانكلين جرام سمعنا بدحري ناي ترامب خنا سمعينا أبرسي ون نسخاتكم بزعبة حفشة كلتي سلفتات قوم قلي ولا بحفشة بأمريكا زكايد البوليتيكا وقصقصات ملكتكم ريتهم نغتبون تحدى عليهم هذه مدرخ كفوت كي قد فوي مالتيو دحري ون مرحو ميديا زي تبهله بزعواتهم أبز حالة في جزء غريب لكم ونيرة أنا مواج جوندر أب توازن لونه يتران معسكر زوجان في زسكحكح إسبا وتكبرات بزملكت ز كالحو ز سدالو ومدبالو بزعوون كغرب لكم مالتيو سلزي زين كالني زلو كسامو داتا مدب مساي كتصنحو بخبر عدمكم شير لايك بلو سبسكرايب كا ديغبركم سليهم كا سبسكرايب تقبروا بخبري عدمكم نابتي تحسوا خسكركم مالتيو
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the President and CEO of the Billy Graham Evangelistic Association and President of Samaritan's Purse, the Reverend Franklin Graham.
Reverend Franklin Graham بزعبا ترامب تكون أمريكا بحثيتها فلوت كيرو بحري ترامب جربوا
Good evening. I've got the hardest job tonight. I have to follow Hulk Hogan. But I stand here tonight as a private citizen who loves this country. I've been asked to say a few words and then to pray, and we're going to do that. Last Saturday in Butler, Pennsylvania, President Trump had a near-death experience. No question. But God spared his life.
نروي خبركم تخاتلتي لما أنت تزغب دعيهم توهبوا يزي قالت صنيحو بحبشة وينجلاوي فرانكلين جرام رمزي تري ولا لهم الأخوات ريبابليك كاب كله استيتات كاب كله ختماتات زموتو زتأكلوا ني 4 معلتات مالتك 15 ساعة 10 شمنته زكاير واخيوا حجنا مودات هز تجبري قرب دقائق تزاربوا زربان ذهبوا صلي صلوتنا نسمع مالتيو ابت ذهبوا كا خمزي سمعهم دونالد ترامب نموت زقاربه تمكرو ግን እግዚአብሔር ህይወቱ ከም ዘድሓኑ እዩ ዝገልጽ ዘሎ ብዝኾነ ሓፍሻትናቱ ሙሉእ ክንሰምዖ ናብኡ ክንቅጽል ኢና
And when we go through those experiences, it changes us. It can cause us to examine our lives and to reevaluate our priorities, as you should. When President Trump rose from that platform, he rose with his fist raised in strength, showing America his unshakable resolve to fight for them in this nation. I cannot explain why God would save one life and allow another one to be taken. I don't have the answer for that. But one thing I do know is that God loves us and he wants us to be with him in heaven one day. And that's through faith in his son, Jesus Christ. You see, the Bible says that God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that whosoever believeth in him shouldn't perish, but should have everlasting life. For as long as I've known the President Trump, I've found him to be a man of his word. Things that he said he'll do, he did. When he told me and our country in 2016 that he was going to appoint conservative justices, guess what? He did. In 2016, he said he would defend religious liberty. And guess what? He did. In 2019, I was with him at the United Nations when the first president of history of this country stood there to advocate for religious liberty worldwide. When American citizen and Pastor Andrew Brunson was being held in a Turkish jail on false accusations, President Trump demanded that he be released. And he applied economic pressure and sanctions until they did that. I'm grateful and thankful for what he did as a 45th president of the United States. And I know that as the 47th president, he will keep his word to the American people to make America great once again. It's an honor for me to be asked to pray for Donald Trump this evening. And so what I'd like to do, I'd like us to pray, but I'd like us all to stand as we call upon the name of the God of heaven. Our Heavenly Father, we come before you this evening with grateful hearts. Thank you for saving the life of President Donald J. Trump. In his own words, it was you and you alone who saved him. We pray for the others that were injured on Saturday, for the family who lost their loved one. Put your loving arms around them. Comfort them and may they sense your presence. We stand before you tonight. We say thank you for the provisions you have given to the United States of America. You have blessed this country more than any country in the world. Sadly, as a nation, we have forgotten who is responsible for all the freedoms, the liberties, and the bounty that we enjoy. It has all come for you. Thank you. This evening, our nation is in trouble. We're divided politically, racially, economically, with millions of people seeking refuge and hope in our dry and thirsty land. You're the only one who can fix the complexity of the problems that we face today. We pray for President Trump that you would give him wisdom, strength, and a clear vision for the future of this nation and the task that is at hand. Continue to protect him from his enemies. I pray that you would surround him with men and women who will give him sound counsel and guidance. We pray for Melania, for Barron, and for all the President Trump's children and grandchildren. We pray for Senator JD Vance, his wife Usa, along with their young family. We're thankful for his strong stand for defending life. As your word instructs, we also pray for the leaders of our nation, whether they're Republican, Democrat, or independent. We know that all authority comes from you. You are a great God, and we ask that if it be thy will that you will make America great once again. And we ask that you'll unite our hearts, bring us together, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And we pray this in the mighty name of my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. Amen.
رأي
Ladies and
أبي
gentlemen,
خبركم
please welcome
تخطتني قد
businessman
سمعكم
and
مالتيو ميتوسن دقائق مالتيو فرانكلين بيلغرام أني بريسيدنت ترامب كمون أني مكتلو جيبي برئيسي ون بتمساسالي ني حزب أمريكا بحفشة خم صلي إنا سمعت أن إحنا بتناتو قلة بتمتوي استزاربو متقاس ذاكل تراي كم دي سمعكمو ኣብቲ ዝተኻየደ ጎስጓስ ማለት ትራምፕ ጎስጓስ እንዳካየደ ከሎ ድሕሪቲ ተኽሲ ኣብ መድረኽ ካብቲ መድረኽ ከም ዝተላዕለን ብሓይሊ ኢሉ ከም ዘለዓለን ገሊፁ ኣብ 2017 ከዓ ኣብ ምረቓ ትራምፕ ጸሎት ዝገበረ እዩ እቲ ፍራንክሊን ግራም ካሾውን ጸሊሉ ከም ዝነበረ ገሊፁ እቲ ፕሬዚደንት ነበር ዓቃውያን ደያኑ ኣብ ምሻምን ሃይማኖታዊ ናጽነት ኣብ ምክልኻልን ሳሪ ደውላ ኣለኻ ሓውና ተመሳሳሊ ውን ኣብ ናይ ሃይማኖት ናጽነት ኣብ ምክልኻልን ኩሉ ግዜ ቃሉ ይሕሉ ኢሉ ማለት እዩ ቀፂሉ ንጉባኤ ፓርቲ ነቲ ምስ ደሎም ውን ከም ሰማዕኹሞ ነቲ ምክትሉ ውን ዋላ ንበዓልቲ ቤት ናይ ትራምፕ ውን ንኩሎም ህዝቢ ኣሜሪካ ብሓፈሻ ሓድነት ክቦም ጽንዓት ክቦም በቲ ናይ እግዚኣብሔርካ ናብቲ ቁኑዕ ዝኾነ ክመርሖ እዩ ጸሊሉ ክበሃል ክሊ ተመሊስና ክንሰምዖ ንኽእል ኢና እታ ሕጂ ሓሲበያ ዘለኹ ብዝያዳ እቲ ናይ ትራምፕ ዘረባ እውን ኣገዳሲ ስለዝኾነ ሎማዓንቲ ከምቲ ትፈልጥዎ ታሪኻዊ መዓልቲ ኣብ ኣሜሪካ ይንወይ ብትራምፕ ወግዓዊ ተመሪፁ ኣሎ ድመፅ ዘሎ ወርሓ ሪፓብሊካንስ ብተመሳሳሊ ከምቲ ዝሓበርክዎ ናይ ባዕሎም ጉባኤ ናይ ባዕሎም ዋዕላ ክካይድ እዮም ካብኡ ንዳሕር ውዕውዕ ዝኾነ ጎስጎሳት ክካየድ እዩ ዘሎ ሓደሽ ዕብይ ዝበሉ ከምዚ ናይ ሎማዓንቲ ዝኣመሰለ እንተልዩ ናባኻትኩም ከነብሎ ኢና ማለት እዩ ንስኻትኩም ከዓ ኣብኡ ርኢትኩም ትብሉ መደባት ኢና ክንሰርዕ ማለት እዩ ደው ኢልኩም ዘለኩም ሓሳባት ፅቡቅ ኹን ሕማቕ ኹን ብዘየገድስ ማለት ትደግፎ ወይ ትደግፍዎ ወላ ዲሞክራት ደግፉ ወላ ሪፐብሊክ ደግፉ ብዘየገድስ ናታትኩም ርኢቶ ተካፍሉ መድረኽ ኢና ክንገብር እዚ ንባዕሉ ከም መምሃሪ ክንጥቀመሉ ፅቡቅ ስለምንታይ ሰብ ሪፐብሊካንስ ድግፍ ስለምንታይ እዩ ዲሞክራት ድግፍ በቲ ዘለኩም ሓሳባት ንስኻትኩም ይህን ምሂን ንባሃል ኣለዉ ነንሕድና ንመሃረሉ መድረኽ ጌርና ክንጥቀሞ እዩ እቲ ቀንዲ ዕላማ ስለዚ ትራምፕ ድሕሪ እቲ ኣብ ዝሓለፈ ዕለት 13 ማለት እዩ ዘጓነፎ ናይ ቅትለት ፈተነ ንመጀመርታ ግዜ እዩ ሕጂ ኣብ መድረኽ ቅድሚ ተወሰነ ደቃይቕ ዊስካንሰን ዝተዛረቦ ዘረባ ናብኡ ከስግረኩም ንስማዓዮ ብድሕሪ ናይ ፍራንክሊን ካልእ እንተልዩ ካብቶም ክሳዮም ክቀርቡ እዮም
If tomorrow all the things were gone, I'd work for all my life, and I had to start again, just my children and my wife. Thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause our flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. American, where at least I know I'm free, and I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me, and I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. Sing it. God bless the USA. Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of
سلام سلام از خبركم تخاتلتي خمسة تري ولا لكم مالتي لو معنتي اب امريكا مالتي اب ويسكونسن ركب دلونا ريبابليكان وعلى بريسيدنت ترامب كم حصوي بريسيدنت جيروم مريس امولو بمسرت لو معنتي تري ولا لهم مجمرتا غيزه تحتي دغوانو فوناي فتنه قتلت مدرس اسمع الواني ثانك يو سو ماتش كلهم اتيكم دلهم يوب الدنيا خمون قال اخصم بتعمل صبو ثانك يو سو ماتش جرم الله سونابتي ناي ترامب مدرخنا اتينا حد مدرخ اسمع له اغر متوسم دقائق يسمعوا
There ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I'm gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. But there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the
يا بعد بيتي اتخون دلاني ترامب لا تري ولا لهم مالتي رئيس خبركم تخاتلتي خمدي سمعوا لهم حزبي باكا يو اس ان دبليو ودمت لي بعوتات اسمع دلي بريزيدنت ترامب ده
Thank you very
مع
much.
ثلاثه زوجانفو
Thank you very, very much. Wow.
ما يجي روح زارب كم دخل كان قبل مكاي بالفن
And thank you, Dana. Thank you, Kid Rock, sometimes referred to as Bob. And thank you, Lee, right from the beginning. Thank you very much. What a talent. What a beautiful, beautiful soul. Thank you. Friends, delegates, and fellow citizens, I stand before you this evening with a message of confidence, strength, and hope. 4 months from now, we will have an incredible victory, and we will begin the 4 greatest years in the history of our country. Together, we will launch a new era of safety, prosperity, and freedom for citizens of every race, religion, color, and creed. The discord and division in our society must be healed. We must heal it quickly. As Americans, we are bound together by a single fate and a shared destiny. We rise together or we fall apart. I am running to be president for all of America, not half of America, because there is no victory in winning for half of America. So tonight, with faith and devotion, I proudly accept your nomination for President of the United States. Thank you.
رايز بخبركم تخطتلتي خمزي سمعكم ومالتي بريسيدنت نبر ترامب لما عنتي بوقعي خم حصي توداداري ناي ريبابليكان مخانو تقبلي اللو يزبل دلو بكونفيدنس سترينث ان هوب خمزي سمعكم ومالتي بحايلي برئاسة أمنة بتسفن إنا تقبلنا لنا دحرير بعت ورحا عوتنا خمزرا قصر قصي لتزارب لي مالتي أنا خاناي كله عليتاتن هايمانوتاتن بزي زخونة مفللاي نايا مونغو حزبنا زل مفللاي قلتيفو حاوي الله يلو تزارب ليو نخلو أمريكا وخا بريسيدنت نخون التي غيركم مرة لهم نحساي حسيهم من لهم تقبلي الله حزب لي ما سو بملهم سمعنا عنه.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And we will do it right. Going to do it right. Let me begin this evening by expressing my gratitude to the American people for your outpouring of love and support following the assassination attempt at my rally on Saturday. As you already know, the assassin's bullet came within a quarter of an inch of taking my life. So many people have asked me, what happened? Tell us what happened, please. And therefore, I will tell you exactly what happened. And you'll never hear it from me a second time because it's actually too painful to tell. It was a warm, beautiful day in the early evening in Butler Township in the great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Music was loudly playing, and the campaign was doing really well. I went to the stage, and the crowd was cheering wildly. Everybody was happy. I began speaking very strongly, powerfully, and happily because I was discussing the great job my administration did on immigration at the southern border. We were very proud of it. Behind me and to the right was a large screen that was displaying a chart of border crossings under my leadership. The numbers were absolutely amazing. In order to see the chart, I started to, like this, turn to my right and was ready to begin a little bit further turn, which I'm very lucky I didn't do, when I heard a loud whizzing sound and felt something hit me really, really hard on my right ear. I said to myself, wow, what was that? It can only be a bullet. and moved my right hand to my ear, brought it down. My hand was covered with blood, just absolutely blood all over the place. I immediately knew it was very serious, that we were under attack, and in one movement proceeded to drop to the ground. Bullets were continuing to fly as very brave Secret Service agents rushed to the stage, and they really did. They rushed to the stage.
رئيس خبركم تقاتلتي غمزي سمعكم مالتي بريسيدنت ترامب تي زوغانفو خنتات يو دغلص دلو نمجمرتا غيزين حسابن خلاي غيزي اكدوغمني زبله بزو حسابات سله حاتتكم اني حجي دي خزارب نحن نمجمرتا غيزي غلص يلو تي كنتات اير كمي صبو كم زنبره ابنسيبينا خمز نبره يغلص صنيحو بحبشا تخونه تشارتر نيرونا وقت متكلخو بقى بطعم كبير بزخونه مقدي ازنو خمتا هارمين ازنو حيزون نغنا دحار تحت مسوره ترايو دم تصيو هم رايو مو زي بطعمي كبير زخونه متقعتي كم زوردهم ايو زغلص زلو بزخونه كنقصلينا بحفشات فيديو ريخم ويخم كمي كم زخونه نوعي ديسكرايب كغبر الفتن زلونتي ابتي وانت زنبرل هما تزي كم زتري ورلهم دنين وزنبرل غيزي سسالو سيلي نيرو نابتي تحسو هنقصلينا مالتي
These are great people at great risk, I will tell you, and pounced on top of me so that I would be protected. There was blood pouring everywhere, and yet, in a certain way, I felt very safe because I had God on my side. I felt that.
نمسمعكم موضي خبركم تقاتلتي ابتي متو ونت حزب امريكا بحفشا مثل لاي كانتهم ناي سيكريت سيرفيس بهالو ناي ጸጥታ ዝሕሉ ወላ ሽዑ ፍትበተ መተውንት ክስተጊሩ ሕጂውን እንደገና ንዓቶም በመስጊኑ ግን ውሑስ ተሰሚዕኒ ነይሩ ይብላሉ ልዕሊ ዝኾነ ኹን ውሑስ ተሰሚዕኒ እቲ ተሰማዓኒ ምኽንያት ከ ኣምላኽ ከም ዘድሕነኒ ስለ ዝፈለጥኩ እየ ዝብል ዘሎ
The amazing thing is that prior to the shot, if I had not moved my head at that very last instant, the assassin's bullet would have perfectly hit its mark, and I would not be here tonight. We would not be together. The most incredible aspect of what took place on that terrible evening in the fading sun was actually seen later. In almost all cases, as you probably know, and when even a single bullet is fired, just a single bullet, and we had many bullets that were being fired, crowds run for the exits or stampede, but not in this case. It's very unusual.
عاطيرهم سمعكم مالتي تعطيت ንቁርብ ተንቀሳቒሰ ነይረ ዝትኸውን ናው ገፀይ ኣብዚ ሕጂ እዋን ኣነ ኣይመሃለኹን ነይረ ከምዚ ኢልና እውን ኣይምስተራኸብናን ነርና ኣይ ዝብል ዘሎ ድሓርቲ ኩነታት ምስ ኣጓነፈ ብዙሕ ጠያይት ከም ዝተተኮሰ ሞ ህዝቢ እውን ፋሕ ከም ዝበለ እዩ ዝገልፅ ዘሎ
This massive crowd of tens of thousands of people stood by and didn't move an inch. In fact, many of them bravely, but automatically stood up looking for where the sniper would be. They knew immediately it was a sniper, and then began pointing at him. You can see that if you look at the group behind me. That was just a small group compared to what was in front. Nobody ran, and by not stampeding, many lives were saved. But that isn't the reason that they didn't move. The reason is that they knew I was in very serious trouble. They saw it. They saw me go down. They saw the blood and thought, actually most did, that I was dead. They knew it was a shot to the head. They saw the blood. And there's an interesting statistic. The ears are the bloodiest part. If something happens with the ears, they bleed more than any other part of the body. For whatever reason, the doctors told me that. I said, why is there so much blood? He said, it's the ears. They bleed more. So we learned something, but they just, this beautiful crowd, they didn't want to leave me. They knew I was in trouble. They didn't want to leave me. And you can see that love written all over their faces.
ያ ብዝኾነ ኣብቲ ኩነታት ዝነበረሉ ግዜ እዩ ከምቲ ዝገለጾ በቶም ብድሕሪ ተወሰነ ሰባት ከም ዝነበሩ ብተዓፀፈ ህዝቢ ግን ቅድሚኡ ከም ዝነበረ ይርዩ በቃ ብዙሕ ሰብ ዝሞትኩ ይመሲልዎ ምክንያቱ እቲ ደም እውን ስለ ዝረኣይዎ ማለት እዩ እቲ ደም ካብ ብጣዕሚ ብዙሕ ዝፈስስ ናይ እዝኒ ነገር ክርዳኑ ናይ ክእልን ስለምንታይ ብዙሕ ደም ካብ እዝኒ ከም ዝፈስስ ነቶም ሓኻይም እውን ሓቲተዮም ንሶም እውን ተመሳሳሊ ብዙሕ ደም ከም ዝፈስስ እዮም ነጊሮምኒ ግን እቲ ህዝቢ ክኸይዱ ናይ ደለየ ናብቲ ቅድሚት ደው ኢሉ እቲ ዘለዎ ፍቕሪ ኣብ ገፁ ይንበብ ነይሩ እዩ ዝብሎ ዘሎ ማለት እዩ እቲ ካልእቲ ናይቲ ስናይፐር እውን ተቐይስዎ ማለት እቲ ቅጭ ሕርሙ ገይሩ ከም ተተኮሰ ማለት
Incredible people. They're incredible people. Bullets were flying over us, yet I felt serene. But now the Secret Service agents were putting themselves in peril. They were in very dangerous territory. Bullets were flying right over them, missing them by a very small amount of inches. And then it all stopped. Our Secret Service sniper, from a much greater distance and with only one bullet used, took the assassin's life, took him out.
ያ ብዝኾነ እቲ ስናይፕ ቅጭምቅጭ ሕርሙ ገይሩ ብዙሕ ጠያይት ከም ዝተተኮሰ እዩ ዝገልጽ ካብ ዝተወሰነ ርሕቐት ካብቶም ሴክሬት ሰርቪስስ ዝብሎም ቶም ናቶ ናይ ፀጥታ ናይ ድሕነት ናይ ፀጥታ ኣካላት ብሓንቲ ናይ ቅጭ ሕርሙ ትኩስ ጥይት ገይሮም ነቲ ዝተኮሰ ሰብ ከም ዘውደቕዎ ወይ ከም ዝቐተልዎ እዩ ዝገልጽ
I'm not supposed to be here tonight. Not supposed to be here.
ኣብዚ ክህሉ ኣይግባእንን ነይሩ ይብል ዘሎ
Thank you. But I'm not. And I'll tell you, I stand before you in this arena only by the grace of Almighty God.
ኣብዚ ኣብ ቅድሚኹም ዘለኹ ብፀጋ ኣምላኽ ኢሎም ኣሎ ማለት እዩ ኣብ ቅድሚኹም ደው ኢለ ዘለኹ ብፀጋ ኣምላኽ ይደውል ኣለኹ
In watching the reports over the last few days, many people say it was a providential moment. Probably was. When I rose surrounded by Secret Service, the crowd was confused because they thought I was dead, and there was great, great sorrow. I could see that on their faces as I looked out. They didn't know I was looking out. They thought it was over, but I could see it, and I wanted to do something to let them know I was okay. I raised my right arm, looked at the thousands and thousands of people that were breathlessly waiting, and started shouting, "Fight, fight, fight."
anyway ታይት ሎክ ዘሎ ብሓፂሩ ኣብቲ ግዜ እቲ ከምዚ ትሪእዎ ኣለኹም ፍላይት ታስእሉ እውን ትሪእዎ ኣለኹም ማለት እዩ ዝኾነ ብኣሽሓት ዝቁፀር ህዝቢ ዝሞትኩ ይመሲልዎ ነይሩ ኣነ ግን ብሂወተይ ከም ዘለኹ ከረጋግፀሎም ኢለ እቲ የማናይ ኢደ ኣማኹ ሓፋቢለ ፋይት 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 ኢለ ኢሉ ይብሎም ዝገልፀሎም ዘሎ ሓፂሩ
Once my clenched fist went up and it was high into the air. You've all seen that. The crowd realized I was okay and roared with pride for our country like no crowd I have ever heard before.
ያ እቲ ኢደይ ሰማይ
Never heard anything like it.
ናይ ኩርዓት ድምፂ
For the rest of
ዓሊሎም
my life, I will be grateful for the love shown by that giant audience of patriots that stood bravely on that fateful evening in Pennsylvania. Tragically, the shooter claimed the life of one of our fellow Americans, Corey, comparator, unbelievable person, everybody tells me.
ያው ሓፂሩ ከምዚ ዓይነት ናይ ኩርዓት ዘለዎ ሓጎስ ዝገለፀሉ ህዝቢ ርአ ይፈልጥኒ እየ ይብሎ እቲ እሱ የማነ ኢዱ ሓፍ ኣቢሉ ፋይት ፋይት ምስ በለ ዘርኣይዎ ድምፂ ዘስምዕዎ ድምፅን ናይ ዓወታ ድምፂ ማለት እዩ እቲ ህዝቢ እውን ብጅግንነት ተመሳሳሊ ማለት እዩ ግን ትዘሕዝን ኢሉ ከዓ ናይቲ እቲ ዝተወከሰ ሰብ ናይ ካልእ ሂወት ሰብ እውን ከም ዘጥፈአ እዩ ገሊፁ ዘሎ ማለት እዩ ሰብ እውን ከመይ ዝኣመሰለ ጥዑይ ሰብ ከም ዝነበረ
Unbelievable. And seriously wounded, two other great warriors. Spoke to them today. David Dutch and James Copenhaver. Two great people. I also spoke to all three families of these tremendous people. Our love and prayers are with them and always will be. We're never going to forget them. They came for a great rally. They were serious Trumpsters, I want to tell you. They were serious Trumpsters and still are. But Corey, unfortunately, we have to use the past tense. He was incredible. He was a highly respected former fire chief, respected by everybody. Was accompanied by his wife, Helen, incredible woman. I spoke to her today, devastated, and two precious daughters. He lost his life selflessly acting as a human shield to protect them from flying bullets. He went right over the top of them and was hit. What a fine man he was.
ዝኾነ ናይቲ እቲ ብድሕሪኡ ዝነበረ ሰብ ሓደ ካብቶም ሓደ ሰብ እዩ ሞይቱ ካልኣይ እቲ ተኮሰ እዩ ተቐቲሉ ማለት እቲ ትራምፕ ዝተኮሰሉ እዩ ተቐቲሉ ክልተ ሰባት እዮም ሞይቶም ማለት እዩ እቲ ዝሞተ ግን ኣብ መጥፋእቲ ሓዊ ዝሰርሕ ነይሩ ይብሎ ብክልተ ቆልዑ ሎማዓንቲ ንሰበይቱ ከም ዘዛረባ ይገሊፁ ካልኦት ከዓ ክልተ ሰባት ከዓ ዝቆሰሉ ነይሮም ንዓዓቶም እውን ከም ዘዛረቦም ብዛዕባ እዚ ሰብ እውን ማለት ከመይ ዝኣመሰለ ፍቱው እውን ዝተኸበረ ሰብ ክቡር ሰብ ከም ዝነበረ ይጠቅስ ኣሎ ማለት ናይቲ ዝሞተ ሰብ ምስሊ ናይቲ ዝሞተ እዮም ገይሮም ማለት እዩ
I want to thank the fire department and the family for sending his helmet, his outfit, and it was just something, and they're going to do something very special when they get it. But we did something which cannot match what happened, not even close. But I am very proud to say that over the past few days, we've raised $6.3 million.
ያ ብዝኾነ እንታይ እዩ ዝብል ዘሎ እዚ ዝረኣኹሞ ናይቲ መጥፋኢ ሓዊ እቲ ትካል ናይ መጥፋኢ ሓዊ እቲ ናቱ ቆቢዕን እቲ ናቱ ክዳውንትን እዮም ሰዲዶም ናብኡ ነቲ ቤተሰብ ዝኸውን ከዓ 6.3 ሚልዮን ከም ዶላር ከም ዘዋፅእ ይገልጽ ዘሎ
For the families of David, James, and Corey, including from a friend of mine, just called up. He sent me a check right here. I just got it. $1 million from Dan Newland. Thank you, Dan. And again, when
ሰለስቲኦም ናይቲ ዝሞተን ናይቲ ኮር ዝብሎ ዘሎ ናይቲ ዴቪድን ናይቲ ጄምስን ገንዘብ ሕጂ እውን ሓደ ዓርከይ ቼክ ከም ዝሰደደሉ እዩ ዝብሎ 1 ሚልዮን ሰይድሉ
speaking to the family, I told them, I said, well, going to be sending you a lot of money, but it can't compensate. They all said the same thing. You're right, sir. We appreciate so much what you're doing, but nothing can take the place in the case of Corey. And the other two, by the way, they were very, very seriously injured, but now they're doing very well. They're going to be okay.
ያ እንታይ ዝብል ዘሎ ብሓፂሩ ኦፍኮርስ ብዙሕ ሰብ ገንዘብ ክሰድድ ኣሎ ክሰደሎም እዩ ብሕጂ እውን ይኹን ዳ እምበር ናይ ሂወት ናይ ኮር ዝመልስ ኣይኮነን ኢሉ ማለት እዩ ነቶም ክልተ ግን ብጣዕሚ ከቢድ ማህሰይቲ ወሪድዎም ነይሩ እቲ መቆሰልቲ ቆሲሎም ነይሮም እዮም ኢልዎ ግን ሕጂ ፅቡቅ ብድሓን ኩነታት ከም ዘለዎ እዩ ዝገልፅ ዘሎ ናይቶም ክልተ ሰብሰን
They're going to be doing very well. The warriors. So now I ask that we observe a moment of silence in honor of our friend Corey.
يعني كوري بناي ጸሎት ዝክሮ ኢሉ ንሓንቲ
There is no greater love than to lay down one's life for others. This is the spirit that forged America in her darkest hours. And this is the love that will lead America back to the summit of human achievement and greatness. This is what we need. Despite such a heinous attack, we unite this evening more determined than ever. I am more determined than ever, and so are you. So is everybody in this room.
ያ ይኹን እምበር ኣብ ከቢድ ኩነታት እኳ ሕጂ እንተሓለፉ ግን ማዕረ ማዕሪኻ ብሓድነት ኣብዚ ሕጂ እዋን ኣብ ውሳኔ ዝበፃሕናሉ ኣብ ቆሪፅና ዝተላዓልናሉ ኣነ ካብ ዝኾነ ኹን እዋን ቆሪፅ ዝተላዓልኩሉ እዋናት እዩ ነበር
Thank you. Thank you very much. Our resolve is unbroken and our purpose is unchanged to deliver a government that serves the American people better than ever before. Nothing will stop me in this mission because our vision is righteous and our cause is pure. No matter what obstacle comes our way, we will not break, we will not bend, we will not back down, and I will never stop fighting for you, your family, and our magnificent country. Never.
ያ ሰማዕኹሞ ብሓፂሩ እቲ ንህና ዕላማን ምክንያት ደው መበሊና መቃለሲና ምክንያት ኣሜሪካ ናብ ዝሓሸ ኩነታት ክንገብራ እዩ ዝብል ዘሎ እቲ ልዒልና ዘለና ቅዱስ ሓሳብ እዩ ናይ ጥቅና ስራሕ እዩ ብሓፂሩ ኢሉ ሰሚዕኹም እቲ ንቃልሶ ዘለና ድሎ ካብዚ ኸ ንድሕሪት ዝመልሰና ኣካል የለን ክቃለሴ ይብሉ ስጋዕ መወዳእታ ክቃለሴ ይድብል ዘሎ ሰምዑ
I have to give with all of the energy and fight in my heart and soul. I pledge to our nation tonight. Thank you very much. I pledge that to our nation. I'm going to turn our nation around and we're going to do it very quickly. Thank you. This election should be about the issues facing our country and how to make America successful, safe, free, and great again.
Okay. Anyway, ti nailomi naidi dello election, naidi dello ምርጫ ኣሜሪካ ዝወሓሰት ኣሜሪካ ምግባራ ዝበለፀት ኣሜሪካ ምግባር እዩ
In an age when our politics too often divide us, now is the time to remember that we are all fellow citizens. We are one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
ከም ሰማዕኹሞ ብሓፂሩ እቲ ፖለቲካዊ ኩነታት ናይ ሃገርና ከፋፊልና ኣሎ ይኹን ዳ እምበር ኩላህናስ ደቂ ሓንቲ ሃገር ኣብ ትሕቲ ኣምላኽ ኢና ከምቲ ትፈልጥዎ ፍትሕን ነፃነትን ናይ ኣሜሪካ ማለት እዩ ኣምላኽ ማለት ነው።
And we must not criminalize dissent or demonize political disagreement, which is what's been happening in our country lately at a level that nobody has ever seen before. In that spirit, the Democrat Party should immediately stop weaponizing the justice system and labeling their political opponent as an enemy of democracy.
ሓፂሩ እቲ ናይ ብወገን ዲሞክራት ዝግበር ዘሎ ብልዕሊ ተቐናቃኒ ወይ ከዓ ናቶም ተቃዋሚ መራሒ ይኹን ዋላ ሰልፊ ከም ፀላኢ ክርእይዎ የብሎም ኤነሚ ኦፍ ዲሞክራሲ ኢሎም ዝፅውዕዎ ኹን ካልእ ዝገብርዎ ዌፐናይዝ ዝገብርዎ ነቲ ምቋምሲ ከም ሓውሲ ከም ሓውሲ ብረት እዮም ጥቀምሉ ኢሉ ማለት ሓፂር ንዑስ ከቋርፅዎ ከም ዘለዉ እዩ ዝዛረብ ዘሎ
Especially since that is not true. In fact, I am the one saving democracy for the people of our country.
ተሳቶም ዝብሎ ዘሎ ሓሶት እዩ ኣነ ብኣንፃሩ ኣነ ነቲ ናይ ኣሜሪካ ዲሞክራሲ ዝዕቅቦ ዘለኹ እዩ ዝብል ዘሎ
And very big news, as you probably just read. On Monday, a major ruling was handed down from a highly respected federal judge in Florida, Eileen Cannon, finding that the prosecutor and the fake documents case against me were totally unconstitutional, and the entire case was thrown out of court.
Florida
thrown out If Democrats want to unify our country, they should drop these partisan witch hunts, which I have been going through for approximately 8 years. And they should do that without delay and allow an election to proceed that is worthy of our people. We're going to win it anyway.
እንተሕዳ ዲሞክራሲ እቲ ናይ ዲሞክራሲ ወገን ዘለዉ እንተሕዳ ፅቡቅ ክኸይድ ደልዮሞ እቲ ምርጫ እቲ ዝሓለፈ 8 ዓመት ክገብርዎ ፀንሑ ብልዕለይ ክስታት ክቋርፅዎ ክኽእሉ ኣለዎም እቲ ምርጫና ክንገብር ክገድፍዎ ክኽእሉ ኣለዎም እዩ ዝብል ዘሎ ንምዃኑ ምዕዋተይ እውን ምዕዋትና ከይተርፈናኒ እዩ ዝብል ዘሎ ኢና
But worthy of our people. On this journey, I am deeply honored to be joined by my amazing wife, Melania.
ዝኾነ ምስ መለና ድምስናበለምስ ምስና ኮይነ ለማዓንቲ ነቢረኩም ዘለኹ እዩ ዝብላ
And Melania, thank you very much. You also did something really beautiful, a letter to America calling for national unity, and it really took the Republican Party by surprise. I will tell you, it was beautiful.
Anyway, the Arab Army military way, looking at the military من بتاع اللوجن أن Republican كانوا حدنا كم زم شوي زي زلوا على تيهم تفلتوا Republicans معلوم تخافوا في اليوم نيرهم زحجي وان كلهم بملهم كلهم تخلين ولا تهم زقام وزن ورخي ترفو كهاتلون تحت عنهم درجة كلهم تهم ناتو تقنا أنت زن ورخي ترفون أبغونهم زلوا يوم زقت زلوا سلزي the Republicans now حدنا تمسيهم كم زلوا
Very serious people said that we should take that letter and put it as part of the Republican platform. That would be an honor, wouldn't it? Right? Mr. Congressman? But it captivated so many. So I also want to thank my entire family for being here. Don, Kimberly, Ivanka and Jared, Eric and Lara, Tiffany and Michael, Baron. We love our Baron. And of course, my 10 wonderful grandchildren. You saw a few of them up there on my lap before.
Okay.
And how good was Dana? Was Dana good? I mean, was he good? You know, he was on
ትንሽ ተይወድ ይመስለኝ
probably the only vacation he's had in about maybe ever, because he works, but about 10 years with his wife, very far away. I won't tell you where, but very, very far away. Beautiful place. And my people called and he said, yeah, I won't be able to do it. This is many, many years. I promised my wife I can't do it. And they came in, they said, Dana won't be able to do it because he was my first, second, and third choice. I said, well, you know, that's too bad, but I understand he's away and it's good. It's good for him. And that was it. About 30 minutes later, she came back in, sir, Dana just called. He's going to do it. And his wife, she said, you can't turn him down. You just can't do it. You have to go. That's a good wife.
ዝኸበርኩም ተኸታተልቲ ናይ ትራምፕ ዘረባ ከም
So he got on a plane. He got here a little while ago. Now he's going to get on the plane in a little while and he's going to go back home to his wife. But they're great. And I just want to thank her and him and their whole family because that's not easy. And Kid Rock, same thing. Called, he said, I want to be a part of it. I want to be a part because, you know, Kid does his great song, big, big monster song. I had no idea. You know, he became a friend of mine over the last 10 years. And he's amazing. Everyone loves him. I didn't even know how big he was. You know, he has rallies, 35, 40,000 people he gets every time he goes out. I think he's making so much money, he doesn't know what the hell to do with it. You want to know? And then we have my other friend, and I've known him so long, and we took that song, and it was a big success, but we made that. I saw a chart of great songs to America. That was #1 on the chart recently, #1. So that's Lee Greenwood, a very special, beautiful person. He's a beautiful man.
ያ ናዝሬት ያገርሚ ናይ ትራምፕ
But they all wanted to be here. They called, and how about the Hulkster? How good was he? You see him? Where is he? Boy, oh boy.
okay. ዝዘባሲ የርዝክሮም አንቶይ ካህያል ዘረባይ ተዛሪ ነው ማለት ነው
You know, they may call that entertainment. I know about entertainment, but when he used to lift a 350-pound man over his shoulders and then bench press him 2 rows into the audience, I say maybe entertainment, but he is one strong son of a gun. I will tell you, I watched it many times. There aren't a lot of entertainers that can do that, right? You were fantastic. Thank you very much. Followed by Eric. What was that all about? Boy, that was good. I didn't want to really come up here. But he was so great, and he's such a good young man. He went through a lot of trouble, and Don last night was incredible. They went through so much trouble. They got subpoenaed more than any people probably in the history of the United States. Every week they get another subpoena from the Democrats, crazy Nancy Pelosi, the whole thing, just boom, boom, boom.
Anyway,
they've got to stop that because they're destroying our country. We have to work on making America great again, not on beating people. And we won. We beat them and all. We beat them on the impeachments. We beat them on indictments. We beat them. But the time that you have to spend, if they would devote that genius to helping our country, we'd have a much stronger and better country.
ያ ኤንዌይ እቲ ብወገን ዲሞክራት ኣብ ልዕሊኡ ዘካይድዎ ዘሎ ክሲ ኩሉ ዓይነት መጥቃዕትታት ከቋርፅዎ እንተዝኽእሉ ኣብ ክንዲ ናብኡ ዝውዕልዎ እቲ ግዜኦምን ኩሉ ሃብትን ገለ ምናልባት ዝሓሸትን ዝሓየለትን ሃገር መሃለውህና ነይራ እዩ ዝብል ዘለዎ
And Jason, the biggest star in country music. Jason, thank you for being here. Jason, thank you very much. Jason Aldean, he's good. I like his wife even better, by the way. She's here. Thank you, Jason. But I'm thrilled to have a new friend and partner fighting by my side, the next Vice President of the United States, the current Senator from Ohio, JD Vance, and his incredible wife, Usha.
بخبركم تخاطرتي زي ودي ثلاثان كيمونتن ثلاثان ساعتن عنت جي دي فانس تبهله ممكن تبسن تغيروا مريض وغلو مالتي
He's going to be a great
وشات بهنا
Vice President. He's going to be great. He'll be with this country and with this movement, greatest movement in the history of our country. Make America great again. When they criticize it, they say, we're going to try and stop MAGA. I said, MAGA is making America great again. What are you going to stop? There's nothing to stop. Then they say, oh, that's right. It's very tough to fight it.
ዝኾነ እንታይ ዝብሎ ኣሎ ኣሜሪካ ዝዓበየ ህዝባዊ ማዕበል ህዝባዊ ምንቅስቃስ ፈጢርና ዘለና እዩ ዝብሎ ኣሎ ነዚ ምክትሉ ገይሩ መሪፅዎ ዘሎ ጄዲ ቫንስ ዝተባህለ ህንዳዊት ዝኾነት ሰበይቲ ከዓ ብጣዕሚ ኣዝዩ ንፉዕ ምዃኑ እዩ ጠቅስ ዘሎ እዩ
And all of the people that did try and fight it have failed, but he's going to be with us for a long time. And it was an honor to select him. Great student at Yale. His wife was a great student at Yale. They met at Yale. These are two smart people.
anyway ኣብ የሊ ዋት ናይ ሎየር ተማሃራ እዩ ስለዚ ብጣዕሚ ስማርት ምዃኑ በሊሕ ምዃኑ እዩ ዝገልፀሉ ዘሎ ማለት ነዊሕ ክፀንሕ ምሳና እዩ ዘሎ መንእሰይ ስለ ዝኾነ እዩ ዝኸውንኩም ዘሎ
So JD, you're going to be doing this for a long time. Enjoy the ride.
ዋናዊሕ ትጓዓዝ ኢኻ እንጆይ ዘ ራይድ ብሎ ኣሎ
And a very special thank you to the extraordinary people of Milwaukee and the great state of... Oh, there they are. There they are. You are so easy to spot. And Green Bay is going to have a good team this year, right? They're going to have a good team. They're going to have a good team. Most of the audience doesn't like it, but it's true. You're going to have a very good team this year. And by the way, Wisconsin, we are spending over $250 million here, creating jobs and other economic development all over the place. So I hope you will remember this in November and give us your vote. I am trying to buy your vote. I'll be honest about that.
ሕጂ ተባራቢርኩም ኣለኹም ማለት ዓውድንኩ እውን ዓው ከብሉ ጀሚሩ ኣሎ ብሓፂሩ ዳርጋ 250 ሚልዮን ዝኣክል ኢንቨስትመንት ከም ተገብረ እዩ ትገልጽ ዘሎ I think ኣብቲ ምቕናዮም ይባል ናይ ስራሓትን ናይ ካልእ ተወሳኺ ማዕባሊታትን ዘተኮረ ማለት እዩ እቲ ዊስካንሰን እዩ ዘርብ ዘሎ
And I promise we will make Wisconsin great again. We're going to make it. Thank you, Mr. Governor. Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm here tonight to lay out a vision for the whole nation, to every citizen, whether you're a young or old man or woman, Democrat, Republican, or independent, black or white, Asian or Hispanic. I extend to you a hand of loyalty and of friendship. Together, we will lead America to new heights of greatness like the world has never seen before. We were right there in the first term. We got hit with COVID. We did a great job. Nobody knew what it was, but nobody's ever seen an economy pre-COVID. And then we handed over a stock market that was substantially higher than just prior to COVID. Coming in, did a great job. Never got credit for that. We got credit for the war and defeating ISIS and so many things, the great economy, the biggest tax cuts ever, the biggest regulation cuts ever, the creation of Space Force, the rebuilding of our military. We did so much. We did so much. Right to try. Right to try is a big deal. We got right to try. They were trying to get that for 52 years. Somebody's terminally ill. And hopefully there's nobody in this audience, but it does happen a lot. They're terminally ill and they can't use our new space age drugs and other things that we are way ahead. We have the greatest doctors in the world, the greatest laboratories in the world, and you can't do it. They've been trying to get that approved for 52 years. Wasn't that easy? The insurance companies didn't want to do it. They didn't want the risk. The labs didn't want to do it because if it didn't work, people are pretty far down the line toward death. They didn't want to do it. The doctors didn't want to have it on their record. So I got everybody into an office. 52 years they tried. Sounds simple, but it's not. And I got them to agree that somebody that needs it will, instead of going to Asia, Europe, or someplace, or if you have no money going home and dying, just die. We got them to sign an agreement, agree to it, where they're not going to sue anybody. They're going to get all of this stuff. They're going to get it really fast. And what's happened is we're saving thousands and thousands of lives. It's incredible. Right to try. It's great.
إذا خبركم تخاطرتي بحصيرو خمسي دي سماعكم مالتي وببكاتي تقدموا وين ويكر محجي أبتي سوز مرحل وانات زقبو مسقانا زقبو أدناقود كم زي رخبي زقلت أبتي جيزيتي ولا عبيت خونو ناشتو ولا ديمقراط خونو ريبابليكان سلمت خون سعدو ولا إيشيان خونو ولا سبانيش خونو كلهم مريحو نتي هاجر بزحشة عالم درجة مالس بأمريكا سب زحشة على درجة على مريات ريت فلت بعبال هنا أمريكا أبتحوا خمس نفر يتقلت دلو زعابي هنا قبري متحات كم زقبري عميو تهدراوي ميليتري نا أمريكا وكم زهنت قلت سنيه بحث شيء قدم زقبرو جهنا ونحن ملساينا بحث
Great feeling. Under our leadership, the United States will be respected again. No nation will question our power. No enemy will doubt our might.
Okay, so أجي مثلا اللهم سمعوا اللهم على تيو علم أمريكا تدفر هاجر نحن حيلون تبتر تتو هاجر كتلنا أمريكا تناكرم بوتاه ملساينا يدلو هذا.
Our borders will be totally secure. Our economy will soar.
يا دواتنا وحسكو خوني وقطوانا
We will return law and order to our streets, patriotism to our schools, and importantly, we will restore peace, stability, and harmony all throughout the world. But to achieve this future, we must first rescue our nation from failed and even incompetent leadership. We have totally incompetent leadership.
يا هم سمعهم مالتي بحثيرو أمريكا نبتي حيلة خناتات نخن فتراسي عندنا rule and order كمان حقاونة ملسينا يدول الله مالتي كل قدنا هاتنا أمريكا سلام تان كمون مردان هارموني زلوا هنقبرينا مزخنا خنجن تي بقعد زي بقول مريحنا تدلنا خنالقصل لنا يدول الله.
This will be the most important election in the history of our country. Under the current administration, we are indeed a nation in decline. We have an inflation crisis that is making life unaffordable, ravaging the incomes of working and low-income families, and crushing, just simply crushing our people like never before. They've never seen anything like it.
يا بحاتيروتي أمريكا بأمودا كم زلا ديكلاين مقبار كم زلا يزيل زلوا مستي قلت صنحي مالت نتزلوا بقعاتي ولو منقستي كورد كم زلوا المقلاتي أمريكا ريم وظيفلتو تخنتهم زلوا حاتي نزخنا سمح حياتكم ما بزح جوان زعما كتبا بتحسوا نحضا حياتكم ما سب بزح يمر كم زلا.
We also have an illegal immigration crisis, and it's taking place right now as we sit here in this beautiful arena.
يا أبز عدد الله ناي زي حقاوي immigration قدات كم زلوا
It's a massive invasion at our southern border that has spread misery, crime, poverty, disease, and destruction to communities all across our land. Nobody's ever seen anything like it.
فلا زي دوادو بي تقصد زلو هزيو كرايم بزيحوهم زلو تخنتن حمام زلو massive invasion بالحسيس هزيو بزح سبي عطوهم زلون يتكسر لو.
Then there is an international crisis, the likes of which the world has seldom been part of. Nobody can believe what's happening. War is now raging in Europe and the Middle East. A growing specter of conflict hangs over Taiwan, Korea, the Philippines, and all of Asia. And our planet is teetering on the edge of World War III. And this will be a war like no other war because of weaponry. The weapons are no longer army tanks going back and forth shooting at each other. These weapons are obliteration. It's time for a change. This administration can't come close to solving the problems. We're dealing with very tough, very fierce people. They're fierce people. And we don't have fierce people. We have people that are a lot less than fierce, except when it comes to cheating on elections and a couple of other things. Then they're fierce. Then they're fierce.
وكم سمعكم لكم بفلاي كاتنا بتناي عالم لخاوي قدات يزارب دلو بزح جوان درجة كله كرايسيس يزلو يلو مالتي يقولوا لا يدلو عالم يتكس دلو أوروبا مع خلاي معرب ميدل إيست مالتي تايوان فيليبينو كله درجة ساساي عالم تجمري زمس زلو تي نسوجن درجة تي بريت نقال تكمل لهم زي كذي زي قال زلو
So tonight, I make this pledge to the great people of America. I will end the devastating inflation crisis immediately, bring down interest rates, and lower the cost of energy. We will drill, baby, drill.
في انفليشن مالتي في انفليشن بقضاء يخنو بدو وين عايز دلو دل خار في ناي انرجي وانت نعمل وين وقيتها حياة خليل مالتي.
Can you believe what they're doing? But by doing that, we will lead a large scale decline in prices. Prices will start to come down. Energy raised it. They took our energy policies and destroyed them. Then they immediately went back to them. But by that time, so much was lost. But we will do it at levels that nobody's ever seen before. And we'll end lots of different things. We'll start paying off debt and start lowering taxes even further. We gave you the largest tax cut. We'll do it more. You know, people don't realize I brought taxes way down, way down, and yet we took in more revenues the following year than we did when the tax rate was much higher. Most people said, how did you do that? Because it was incentive. Everybody was coming to the country. They were bringing back billions and billions of dollars into our country. The companies made it impossible to bring it back. The tax rate was too high, and the legal complications were far too great. I changed both of them, and hundreds of billions of dollars by Apple and so many other companies were brought back into our nation. And we had an economy the likes of which no nation had ever seen. China, we were beating them at levels that were incredible. And they know it. They know it. We'll do it again, but we'll do it even better.
anyway خمزي سمعكم مالتي في الله يابتناي قبري خمزي قدل خمزي قبري يحجون تمليسنا خنا قدو لينا عيدل دلو على تناي هايلي تي انرجيز ولو وانت مساسالي ابتنا حقي زملكتون بزح كومبليكيشنز كم زنبورو يتاكس دلو انتنا انرجي وانت مليسهم ساتهم ابتنا بورو خمزي مالا صوتهم ديمقراطي تقلت تمساسالي تناي ቁጠባ ፖሊሲታቱ ኣብ ዓለም ንሪኦም ኣዝ ይፈልጡ ክንገብሮ ኢና ይድብሉ ዋላ ቻይና እውን ከይተረፈ ይፈልጥዎ እዮም ግን ጁን ቅፅሎ ኢና ይድብል ኣሎ
We'll end the illegal immigration crisis by closing our border and finishing the wall, most of which I've already built.
እቲ ናይ ኢሚግሬሽን ዘሎ ፀገማትና እውን ክንዓፅዎ ኢና ይድብል ዘሎ ድዋትና ውሑስ ክንገብሮ ኢና ሰት ህዝቢ ብጣዕሚ ይድግፎ ምዃኑ ትሪእዎ ዘለኹም ሰባት ማለት ብዙሕ ድምፂ ይገብሩ ኣለዉ ንስኹም ምስ በለ ገለ ዳርጋ ዓፀየ እዩ ዝብል ዘሎ ግን ክቕፅሎ ምዃኑ ይዛረብ ዘሎ
On the wall, we were dealing with a very difficult Congress. And I said, oh, that's okay. We won't go to Congress. I call it an invasion. We gave our military almost $800 billion. I said, I'm going to take a little of that money because this is an invasion. And we built, most of the wall is already built. And we built it through using the funds because What's better than that? We have to stop the invasion into our country that's killing hundreds of thousands of people a year. We're not going to let that happen.
So እንታይ እዩ ብዚ ናይ ኢሚግሬሽን ጉዳይ ዘልዕሎ ዘሎ ከምዚ ዝሰማዕኹሞ ማለት እዩ እቲ ዳርጋ ሃኒፁ እዩ ዝብሎ ዘሎ እቲ ናይ ሓፁራት ማለት እዩ ፈንስ ገለ ዝበሎ እቲ መናዕድቕ ማለት እዩ ዳርጋ 8 ኢንቬዥን እዩ ዘሎ ይብሎ ኣሎ ወራሪ ባቃ ንውረር ኢና ዘለና ማኢት ዝኣኽሉ ሰባት ኣትዮም ዓድና ወሩናዮም ዘለዉ እዩ ዝብል ዘሎ so እቲ ናይ ወፃኢታት እውን 800 ቢልዮን ዝኣክል ወፃኢታት ከም ዝገበሩሉ ግን በቃ ዝታት እንኳን ቆንሶ ኢና ይድሎ ኣሎ ሓፂር እቲ ናይ ወፃእተኛታት ናይ ምእታው ናብዚ ብዘይ ሕጋዊ ሸነኽ ማለት
I will end every single international crisis that the current administration has created, including the horrible war with Russia and Ukraine, which would have never happened if I was president, and the war caused by the attack on Israel, which would have never happened if I was president. Iran was broke. Iran had no money. Now Iran has $250 billion. They made it all over the last 2.5 years. They were broke. I watched the other day on a show called Deface the Nation. Has anyone seen it? And they had a congressman who was a Democrat say, well, whether you like him or not, Iran was broke dealing with Trump. I told China and other countries, if you buy from Iran, we will not let you do any business in this country, and we will put tariffs on every product you do send in of 100% or more. And they said to me, well, I think that's about it. They weren't going to buy any oil. And they were ready to make a deal. Iran was going to make a deal with us. And then we had that horrible, horrible result that we'll never let happen again. The election result, we're never going to let that happen again. They used COVID to cheat. We're never going to let it happen again. And they
ያ ከምዚ ዝሰማዕኹሞ ማለት እዩ ብሓፂሩ ኢራናውያን ናብቲ ንሱ ዝነበረሉ እዋናት ዳርጋ ደኺዮም ከም ዝነበሩ እዩ ዝጠቅስ ድሕሪኡ ግን ዳርጋ ናብ 250 ቢልዮን ዝኣክል ዝኣከቡ እዩ ዝገልጽ እቲ ናብኣቶም ዝግበር ዲል ነዳዲ ዳርጋ ምግዛእ ውዕላት ዳርጋ ምግባር እዮም ነይሮም እዩ ዝብል እሱ ግን ናይ ክንገብሮ ኢና ዋላ እቲ ታሪፉን ክንውስኸሉ ኢና እዩ ዝብል ዘሎ
took off all the sanctions and they did everything possible for Iran. And now Iran is very close to having a nuclear weapon, which would have never happened. This is a shame what this administration, the damage that this administration has done. And I say
ሓፂሩ ኢራን ዳርጋ ኒውክሌር ሚሳይል ምውናንያ ቀሪባ ዘላ እዩ ዝብሎ ዘሎ እዚ ከዓ ብጣዕሚ ዘሕፍር እዩ በዚ ዘሎ ምምሕዳር እዩ ዝብል
it often.
Yeah, thank you so much, Gazai. Neza da habka yarito. Yeah, I know. Da drill ዝበላ. I think da misgere yani ረክትርጉም ከለኹ yes. Thank you so much. Okay, ፍቅረ እንታይ ትራምፕ ክዕወት ኣለዎ ዝብል ስደተኛ ካብ ምንታይ ዝተላዕለ እዩ ያ ፍቅረ ዳሕራይ ክንዘራረበሉ ንኽእል ኢና ስኻ yeah, we'll talk later, okay? ዋው ኦኬ ናዝሬት ታይትልና ኣለኺ እታ ሽጉጥ ዝተተኮሰት ንዕላማ እያ ንምምራፅ ክጥዕሞ ኢሎም እዮም ያ ማለት of course ማለት ኣጋጢሙ ንፅቡቅ ኮይኑ ማለት እዩ so ኩሉ ነገር ዕላማ እዩ ዝፍፀም ከም ትፈልጥ እየ ማለት እዩ ትራምፕ ክዕወት ኣለዎ ዝብል ስደተኛ ካብ ምንታይ ዝተላዕለ እዩ ፍቅረ ኣብዚ ብዙሕ ሰብ ደጋፊ ከም ዘለዎ ኢና ርኢና ዘለና ዝሓለፈ ግዜ ጋጣሚ ዝኾነ መደብ ትገበርናዮ ነገር ነይሩ ዳርጋ እቲ ዝበዝሐ ሰብ ክምረፅ ከም ዘለዎ እዩ ዝጉስግስ ሰሚዕና ማለት እዩ ትዘረባ ክንውድኦ ሞኒቲ ናቲ ዝገብሮ ዘሎ ሕልፍ ኢልና ንሕራይ ስኻትኩም ከዓ ርኢትኹም ክትቡ ማለት ስኻ እውን ክምረፅ ኣለዎ ትብል ትኾንካ you can tell us ማለት ስኻ እውን በዚ ምክንያት ባይደን ክምረፅ ኣለዎ ክትብለና ትኽእል ኢኻ ካልኦት እውን ኣለዎ I think በዓል على الجزائي ناي على النظريت ناي ترامب دقفت يبز مسل زلو زخريهم كلهم تقلت لنا خيالي خمالتي so okay so now نقصلي ناستي ناي ترامب سربا مالتي.
If you took the 10 worst presidents in the history of the United States, think of it, the 10 worst, added them up, they will not have done the damage that Biden has done. Only going to use the term once. Biden. I'm not going to use the name anymore, just one time.
ሓፂሩ እንታይ እዩ ዝብል ዘሎ ነቲ ኣብ ርእሲ ናይ ባይደን እዩ ዘሎ እቶም ኣዝዮም ዝሓመቑ 10 መራሕቲ እንተትዩ ኢልኩም ተትሰሚዑ ሲ እቲ ዝሓመቐ ሲ ባይደን እዩ ምኾነ ካልኣይ ግዜ እውን ኣይከልዕሎ ሽሙ እዩ ዝብል ዘሎ ኢንወይ እንሻሎ ሎማዓንቲ ንኻልኣይ ግዜ ይኹም ዝብል ዘሎ ብዛዕባ እቲ ናይ ቅትለት ኣይከልዕለን እየ ኢሉ ኣሎ ባይደን እውን ካልኣይ ኣልዕሎን ይብላ ኣሎ ግን ክሰምዕዎ ይኹም ፅንሕ ኢሉ እውን ከልዕሎ ኸውን እዩ
The damage that he's done to this country is unthinkable. It's unthinkable. Together we will restore vision, strength, competence, and we're going to have a thing called common sense making most of our decisions, actually. It's all common sense.
Anyway, كل ውሳኔታትና ብኮመን ሰንስ ተበለዩ በቃ እቲ ኮንፊደንስ ስትሬንግስ ደጋግማ ኣሎ ቃላት ርእሰ መተኣማመንን ኣብ ሓይል በሓይል ከመሓደር ምዃን ይጠቅም
Just a few short years ago under my presidency, we had the most secure border and best economy in the history of our country, in the history of the world. We
ኣሜሪካ ወይቲ ዝወሓሰ ናይ ዶብ ውሕስ ዶብን ቁጠባ ዝማዕበለትን ኣብ ታሪክና ዝገበርናሉ ጋጣሚታት ነይሩ
had the greatest economy in the history of the world. We had never done anything like it. We were beating every country, including China, by leaps and bounds. Nobody had seen anything like it. We had no inflation, soaring incomes were going. Nobody can believe it. You can't believe what happened 4 years ago is happening now in reverse. And the world was at peace. Inflation has been a killer for our country. No matter what you make it, it doesn't matter because inflation is eating you alive. People that were putting away money, they were making great wages, the highest they've ever made, but they were putting away a lot of money. Now they are just being destroyed. They're not putting away anything. They're barely living. They're going into savings accounts. They're taking out their money to live because of inflation. Inflation, remember, it's called a country buster. You can go back to Germany from 100 years ago. You can go back to any country that suffered great inflation. We've suffered the worst inflation we've ever had.
Wow. Anyway, ኣብዚ ተቐሶ ዘሎ ኣብቲ ዝሓለፈ ንሱ ዝነበረሉ ግዜ ንዝኾነ ኹን ናይ ቁጠባ ዝሓየለት ሃገር ድዋታ ውሕስ ዝኾነት ሃገር ኢና ጌርናያ ነርና ኣብቲ ግዜ እቲ ንኩለን ሃገራት ኢና ንስዕረት ነርና እዩ ዘሎ ኣብዚ ሕጂ እዋን ግን እቲ ዝቕባበ ናይቲ ቁጠባ ካብ መጠን ላዕሊ ወዲቑ ከም ዘሎ ዳርጋ ሂወትና ማስ ሂወት ናይ ነፍሲ ወከፍ ሰብ ናይ ኣሜሪካ ይበልዖ ከም ዘሎ ሰብ ገንዘቡ ዝነበሮ ገንዘብ ኣውፅኡ ይበልዕ ከም ዘሎ ዋጋ ናህሪ ሸጊርዎ ከም ዘሎ እዩ ዝገልፅ ዘሎ ማለት እዩ so okay الدنيا ኣብርሃ እንታይ ትለኺ ፈቲኹም ፀሊእኹም ትራምፕ ክዕወት እዩ okay الدنيا so ፍቕረ ከይሰምዓኪ ፍቕረ እንታይ ኢኻ ክትብል ከም ሰምዓ ኣለኻ الدنيا okay thank you. So let's continue to Trump more than the
But go back and see what's happened to those countries. We've had the worst inflation we've ever had under this person. But in less than 4 years, our opponents have turned incredible success into unparalleled tragedy and failure. It's been a tremendous failure. Today, our cities are flooded with illegal aliens. Americans are being squeezed out of the labor force and their jobs are taken. By the way, you know who's taking the jobs that are created? 107% of those jobs are taken by illegal aliens. And you know who's being hurt the most by millions of people pouring into our country? The Black population and the Hispanic population, because they're taking the jobs from our Black population, our Hispanic population, and they're also taking them from unions.
Yeah, and ዝሰምዖ ኣለኹም እቲ ብትራምፕ ዝብሎ ዘሎ ብሓፂሩ እዚ ኣሜሪካ ብዘይሕጋውያን ወፃእተኛታት እያ መሊኣ ዘላ እቲ ንሳቶም ከዓ ነቲ ናይ ጸለምቲ ኣሜሪካውያንን ናይ ስፓኒሽን ናይቶም ኣብ ናይ ስራሕተኛታት ማሕበር ዝርከቡ ብሓፂር ትሑት መናበሩ ዘለዉ ማለት እዩ ዝኸውን እናታቶም ስራሕ እዮም ዝወስዱ ዘለዉ እዩ ዝብል ዘሎ
Unions are suffering because of it.
ብዙሓት ሰባት ሰቃዩ ኣለዉ
Thank you. Thank you. I like you too. Thank you very much. Inflation has wiped out the life savings of our citizens and forced the middle class into a state of depression and despair. That's what it is. It's despair and depression. We cannot and will not let this continue. Less than 4 years ago, we were a great nation, and we will soon be a great nation again. We're going to be a great nation again.
ኣብ ቅልውላዊ መእትዮም ሙና ነይሮም ዘሎ ብሓፂሩ ቅድሚ 4 ዓመታት ፅቡቅ ነርና እንደገና ዳግም ናብቲ
Thank you.
ቤት ነሽን ክንገብረ
With proper leadership, every disaster we are now enduring will be fixed, and it will be fixed very, very quickly. So tonight, whether you've supported me in the past or not, I hope you will support me in the future, because I will bring back the American dream. That's what we're going to do. You don't even hear about the American dream anymore.
ያ እቲ ናይ ደሰምዖ ዘለኹም እቲ ናይ ኣሜሪካ ሕልሚ ንዑ ክመልስ እየ እዩ ዝብል ዘሎ ሓፂሩ
With great humility, I am asking you to be excited about the future of our country. Be excited. Be excited.
ብትሕትና ማለት እንደገና ዘለኩም ራእይኹም ክትሕድሱ ኣለኩም
And by the way,
ከምዚ ምንጭያት ክትኾኑ
the news reports, oh, look at all of those big networks. Look at them. They're all here. But every one of them has said this could be the most organized, best run, and most enthusiastic convention of either party that they've ever seen. Every single one.
ያው ሓፂር ነቲ ዘካይድዎ ዘለዉ ኮንቬንሽን ወይ ከዓ ሃገራዊ
And it's true.
ዋዕላ
It's true.
ከምዚ
And
ዓይነት
there's love in the room. There's
ዝተወደበ
great love
ካይድ
in the
ክራይ
room.
ይፈጥኒ ኣሜሪካ እዩ ዘሎ
So I better finish strong. Otherwise, we'll blow it. And we can't let that happen. Now, this was great. All of the great people that spoke, and everybody hit a home run. I mean, there's not one that I can think of where I said, oh, gee, that wasn't great. Every single person. I refuse to be the only one. Don't do that to me. They're already getting ready. See, I gave him an idea. Now, this was a great convention. This was, I think we're actually going to go home and miss it. You know, usually with first of all, look at these crowds. You'd never have this at a convention. Look at these crowds.
ዓይነት ኮንቬንሽን እዩ ፅባቐ ናይ ዘለዎ ኩነታት ዝገልፅ ዘሎ ከምዚ ዓይነት ስራ ይፈልጥ ኣሜሪካ እዩ
Love. It's about love. This week, the entire Republican Party has formally adopted an agenda for America's renewal, and you saw that agenda, and it's very short compared to the long, boring, meaningless agendas of the past, including the Democrats. They write these things that are hundreds of pages long, and they never read them after they're done. In their case, fortunately, they don't read them because they're pretty bad. It's a series of bold promises that we will swiftly implement when you give us a Republican House. And Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. We have our great Speaker of the House with us tonight, Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much. Thank you. A Republican Senate. We have many senators here. And send me back to our beautiful White House just a few short months from now. We're talking about just months. It can't come fast enough. We have to get it done. First, we must get economic relief to our citizens. Starting on day one, we will drive down prices and make America affordable again. We have to make it affordable. It's not affordable. People can't live like this. Under this administration, our current administration, groceries are up 57%, gasoline is up 60 and 70%, mortgage rates have quadrupled. And the fact is, it doesn't matter what they are because you can't get the money anyway. You can't buy houses. Young people can't get any financing to buy a house. The total household costs have increased an average of $28,000 per family under this administration. Republicans have a plan to bring down prices and bring them down very, very rapidly by slashing energy costs. We will, in turn, reduce the cost of transportation, manufacturing, and all household goods. So much starts with energy.
اوكي زي خبركم تخاتلتي انوي كلتيف نقوم نابتا بوتا ناي ጻዕዳ ገዛ ወይ ከዓ ዋይት ሃውስ ምሎሱን እዩ ዝብል ዘሎ እቶም ናይ ወሃቢ ቃል ናይቲ ባይቶ ከምኡውን ሴኔተራት ዘለዉ እዮም መስኪኑ ከም ዝሰማዕኹሞ ማለት እዩ እታ ፍርስት ቀዳመይቲ ንገብራ ኢኮኖሚክ ሪሊፍ ማለት እዩ ነቲ ሪሊፍ ማለት ከምዚ ክትዕርፎ ወይ ክትቅንሰሉ ከለካ ማለት እዩ ቁጠባዊ ሕውየት ክንገብር ኢና ማለት እዩ ብሓፂሩ ኣብቲ ሰማዕኹሞ ብሓፈሻ ኣብዚ ሕጂ እዋን ዘለዎ ኩነታት ገሊፁ 57 ዝኣክል ዳርጋ እቲ ግሮሰሪስ ማለት እዩ ኩሉ ዓይነት ኣስቤዛስ ብ57 ሚእታዊት ከም ዝወሰኸ ነዳዲ ካብ 60-70 ሚእታዊት ከም ዝወሰኸ ናይ ገዛ ኣባያቲ ከዓ ብዳርጋ 3 ዕፅፊ ከም ዝኾነ ይገሊፁ ኣብ እቲ ዝተገብረ መፅናዕቲ 28,000 ከም ናይ ነፍሲ ወከፍ ገዛ ከም ዝወሰኸ ይገሊፁ እቲ ኤነርጂ ክቕንስዎ ምዃኖም ትራንስፖርቴሽን ናይ እቲ ማኑፋክቸሪንግ ከዓ እቲ ኢንዱስትሪ ዝምረት ክሳያትን ኩሉ ናይ ገዛ ሃብትን ንብረትን እውን ክቕንስዎ ማለት ከም ዝጎድል ክንገብሮ ኢና ይብል ዘሎ ብሓፂሩ ተቐዳመይቲ ስራሕናስ እዚኣ ኢና ክንገብራ ኢሉ እዩ ክገልፅ ዘሎ
Remember, we have more liquid gold under our feet than any other country by far. We are a nation that has the opportunity to make an absolute fortune with its energy. We have it, and China doesn't. Under the Trump administration, just 3.5 years ago, we were energy independent, but soon we will actually be better than that. We will be energy dominant and supply not only ourselves, but we will supply the rest of the world. With numbers that nobody has ever seen, and we will reduce our debt, $36 trillion. We will start reducing that, and we will also reduce your taxes still further. Next, and by the way, they want to raise your taxes. Four times, think of it. And all my life, I grew up watching politicians. I always loved politics. I guess I was on the other side. I'd watched and they were always talking about, we will give you a tax cut. We will give you a tax cut. My whole life I was watching, I will give you a tax cut, right, Mr. Congressman? That's all they talked about. This is the only administration that said, we're going to raise your taxes by 4 times what you're paying now, and people are supposed to vote for them? I've never heard it. You're paying too much. We're going to reduce your taxes still further. We gave you the biggest one, as I said. We're going to give you more. And it's going to lead to tremendous growth. We want growth in our country. That's what's going to pay off our debt. And next, we will end the ridiculous and actually incredible waste of taxpayer dollars that is fueling the inflation crisis. They've spent trillions of dollars on things having to do with the Green New Scam. It's a scam. And that's caused tremendous inflationary pressures in addition to the cost of energy. And all of the trillions of dollars that are sitting there not yet spent, we will redirect that money for important projects like roads, bridges, dams, and we will not allow it to be spent on meaningless green new scam ideas. And I will end the electric vehicle mandate on day one. Thereby saving the U.S. auto industry from complete obliteration, which is happening right now, and saving U.S. customers thousands and thousands of dollars per car. And right now, as we speak, large factories just started are being built across the border in Mexico. So with all the other things happening on our border, and they're being built by China to make cars and to sell them into our country, no tax, no anything. The United Auto Workers ought to be ashamed for allowing this to happen. And the leader of the United Auto Workers should be fired immediately. And every single auto worker, union and non-union, should be voting for Donald Trump, because we're going to bring back car manufacturing and we're going to bring it back fast.
ዝኾነ ብመወዳእታ ዝተዛረቦም ዝሰማዕኹሞ እቲ ናይ ኣውቶ ናይ መካይን ፋብሪካታት ብሓፂሩ ዝበሎ ትመልሰኒና እዩ ዝብለሎ እተን ናይ ኣሜሪካ ትካላት ኣብዚ ብፍላይ ታክሲ ዘይብሉ ገለ ዘይብሉ ኣብዚ ጎረቤትና ናይ ሜክሲኮ ኮይኖም ቻይናውያን ኣስሪሖም ናዋና ክሸጡልና ዝገብርዎ ዘለዉ ሓፍሪ ግቦኦም ነይሮቶም ናይ ማሕበራት ናይ ማኪና ዘፍርዩ ትካላት ማለት እዩ ዝብል ዘሎ ኩሎም ሕጂ ክትመልሶም ኢና ካብዚ እውን ክወፅኡ ዝግብኦም ነይሩ ተርጎም ዝገብሩ ኮይኖም ባህላዊ ብሓፂር ግን እንታይ እዩ ክብል ዘሎ ኣብዛ ዓድና ክንመልሶ ኢና ስራሕ እተን ትካላት ናብዚ ክንምፀን ኢና ኣሜሪካ ክነምፀን ኢና እዩ ዝብል ዘሎ እቶም ቻይናውያን ኣብዚ ሜክሲኮ ትካላት ገይሮም እንደገና ብሕሱር ሰራሕተኛታት ገይሮም እንደገና ናባና ክሸጡልና ዝገብርዎ ዘለዉ ነገራት ከነቋርፆ ኢና እዩ ዝብል ዘሎ ማለት እዩ
They're building some of the largest auto plants anywhere in the world. Think of it, in the world. We're going to bring it back. We're going to make them. We don't mind that happening, but those plants are going to be built in the United States, and our people are going to man those plants. And if they don't agree with us, we'll put a tariff of approximately 100 to 200% on each car, and they will be unsellable in the United States.
ዝኾነ ተሕዳደ ይሰምዑና ኮይኖም በቃ ሓደ 100 እስካዕ 200 ሚእታዊት ቀረፅ ክንገብረሎም ኢና እዩ ዝብል ዘሎ
We have long been taken advantage of by other countries. And think of it, oftentimes these other countries are considered so-called allies. They've taken advantage of us for years. We lose jobs, we lose revenue, and they gain everything and wipe out our businesses, wipe out our people. I stopped it for 4 years. I stopped it. And we're really ready to make changes like nobody had seen before. And remember, USMCA, I got rid of NAFTA, the worst trade deal ever made, and replaced it with USMCA, which is, they say, the best trade deal ever made. Actually, probably the best trade deal was the deal I made with China, where they buy $50 billion worth of our product. They were buying nothing. They buy $50 billion worth. They had to. But I don't even talk about it because of COVID. I don't even mention it, frankly, because of what happened with the China virus.
ኤንወይ ኣብቲ ግዜ እቲ ዝነበረ ብሓፂሩ እቶም ኣላያንስ ተባሂሎም ማለት ምሳና ምሕዝነት ኣለውን ንብለን ሃገራት እየን ዋላ ምስራሕና ስራሕ ይወስዳልና ቢዝነሳትና ብዙሕ ከም ዝኸስባሎም ካብ ኣሜሪካ ከም ዝኸስባ እዩ ዝገልፅ ፀኒሑ ኣብዚ መጨረሻ ዝተቆሰ ከዓ ምስ ቻይና ናይ 50 ቢልዮን ዝኣኽል ዲል ከም መክሰብ ከም ዝርገበረ ግን ኣብቲ ናይ ኮቪድ ዝነበረሉ ብምዃኑ ሽዑ ኣይለዓልክዎን እዩ
We will not let countries come in, take our jobs, and plunder our nation. They come and do that. They plunder our nation. The way they will sell their product in America is to build it in America. Very simple. Build it in America and only in America.
ብሓፂሩ ኣብዚ ሕሱር ንብረት እንዳምፁ ሃብትና ክሰርቁን ኣይኮነን እዩ ዝብል ዘሎ ሃብትና ክጠፋፍኡን ኣይኮነን እዩ ዝብል ዘሎ እቲ ክግበር ዘለዎ ተን ትካላት ኣብዚ ክስራሕ ኣለወን እዩ ዝብል ዘሎ
And this very simple formula, and Congress has to go along with us, and they will. This very simple formula will create massive numbers of jobs. We will take over the auto industry again, and many hundreds of thousands of jobs. We lost so many jobs over the years. If you go back 20, 25 years, they've stolen, going to China and Mexico, about 68% of our auto industry manufacturing jobs. We're going to get them all back. We're going to get them all back, every one of them. At the center of our plan for economic relief are massive tax cuts for workers that include something else that's turned out to be very popular, actually. Here it's very popular in this building and all those hotels that I saw that are so nice. I'm staying in a nice one. It's called no tax on tips. No tax on tips. No tax on tips.
يعني سمعهم يخم هذا خبتي تقندي صراحة ناي أبتنا قطبة استتحازي بقت ታክሲ ትግብሪ ከውርዶ ምዃኑ ይጠቅስ ዘሎ ግን ኖ ታክስ ኦን ቲፕስ ብለና ኣሎ እቲ ኣብ ቲፕስ ዝገብርዎ ነበሩ ናይ ቀረፅ ናይ ግብሪ ምክፋል ንዑ ክንቆርፀ ኢና እዩ ዘሎ
I got that by having dinner recently in Nevada, where we're leading by about 14 points. Hello. I'll see you there very soon, everybody. And we're having dinner at a beautiful restaurant in the Trump building on the Strip. And it's a great building. And the waitress comes over. How's everything going? A really nice person. How's everything? Oh, sir, it's so tough. The government's after me all the time on tips. I said, well, they give you cash. Would they be able to find them? She said, actually, and I didn't know this. She said, very little cash is given. It's all put right on the check. And they come in and they take so much of our money. It's just ridiculous. And they don't believe anything we say. And they've just hired, as you know, 88,000 agents to go after them even more. And I said, this shows the level of my, most people go out, they hire consultants, they pay them millions of dollars. But I said to her, let me just ask you a question. Would you be happy if you had no tax on tips? She said, what a great idea. I got my information from a very smart waitress. That's better than spending millions of dollars. And everybody loves it. Waitresses and caddies and drivers and everybody's a large group of people that are being really hurt badly. They make money, let them keep their money. I'm going to protect Social Security and Medicare. Democrats are going to destroy Social Security and Medicare because all of these people, by the millions they're coming in, they're going to be on Social Security and Medicare and other things, and you're not able to afford it. They are destroying your Social Security and your Medicare. Under my plan, incomes will skyrocket, inflation will vanish completely, jobs will come roaring back, and the middle class will prosper like never, ever before, and we're going to do it very rapidly.
ከም ዝሰማዕኹሞ ብሓፂሩ ምናልባት ኣብቲ ናይ ሶሻል ሴኩሪቲን ናይ ሜዲኬትን ክንዕቁበይና እዩ ዝብል ዘሎ ብሓፈሻ እቲ ስራሕ ናብ ንቡር ክንመሰናት ታሕተዋይ መነባብሮ ዘለዎ ኣብ ዝህብትመሉ ስራሓት ክንመለስ ከም ዝምለስ ክንገብር ኢና ቀጢፍና ቁጠባ ክነዕብየና እዩ ዝብል ዘሎ
But no hope or dream we have for America can succeed unless we stop the illegal immigrant invasion, the worst that's ever been seen anywhere in the world. There's never been an invasion like this anywhere. Third world countries would fight with sticks and stones not to let this happen. The invasion at our southern border, we will stop it, and we will stop it quickly. You heard Tom Homan yesterday. Tom Homan, put him in charge and just sit back and watch.
ዝኾነ እንታይ ዝብል ዘሎ እዚ ናይ ስደተኛ ዘይሕጋውያን ስደተኛታት ደጋጊሙ ይዛረበሉ ዘሎ ኣሜሪካ ናብቲ ክሳብ ክንመልሳት ኮይንና ግን እዚ ወራር ዝብሎ ዘሎ ሓፂሩ ኣብ ሳልሳይ ዓለም ኣፍሪካ ገለ ዝገብርዎ ዘሎ ማለት እዩ ብእማንን ብባትርን ተሃራርምዎ ዘለዉ ከነፅሩ የለና ኣብ ሓፂር እዩ ዘሎ ኣሜሪካ ካብኡ ዝኾነ ከም ዘይሕጋዊ ሰባት ዝኣትውሉ ክኾኑ የብሉና
Brandon Judd, the Border Patrol, he's incredible. These guys, they really, their job is a lot easier if they don't have to do anything, but they want to. They're patriots. Brandon Judd, Border Patrol, ICE. ICE goes out. You have to see what ICE does with MS-13. You have these are probably the worst gang, and ICE goes in there. And I know a lot of people in these rows here, and they're very tough people, but they don't want to do this job. They'll go into a pack of MS-13 killers. They're the worst, probably the worst gangs in the world. We have thousands of them. I moved thousands and thousands out in my 4 years. We moved them out, and it was a pleasure. But ICE would go right into a pack of these killers, and you see fists flying, you see everything flying, and then they take them. They put them in a paddy wagon. They take them back, and they get them out of our country. And the other countries weren't accepting them back. And I called up, and I said, tell them that we're not giving them economic aid anymore. And the next day, I got calls from all of these countries that were terminated. Billions of dollars we spend on economic aid to countries that does us, frankly, no good. And the next day I was called by everybody. I couldn't take all the calls. Sir, what's the problem? I said, you won't take your killers back that you sent in caravans into America. You won't take them back. Well, sir, if you'd like us to, we would give very serious consideration to doing that. And within 24 hours, they were being taken back. For years and years, when I first came in, they said President Obama tried to get him to go back, and they wouldn't accept him. They'd put planes on the runway so you couldn't leave the plane. They'd close the road so you couldn't take the buses. They'd all have to turn back. As soon as I said no more economic aid of any kind to any country that does that, they called back and they said, sir, it would be our great honor to take MS-13. We love them very much. We love them very much. Sir, we'll take them back. At the heart of the Republican platform is our pledge to end this border nightmare and fully restore the sacred and sovereign borders of the United States of America. And we're going to do that on day one.
ሓፂርኩም ሰምዑ ኣለኹም ሓፂር ነቲ ናይ ኣሜሪካ ውሕስ ንምግባር ዝብሎ ዘሎ ወፃእተኛታት ዝምለስሉ ኩነታት ንምፍጣር እዩ ነቶም ስደተኛታት ምምላስ ጥራይ ዘይኮነስ ነተን ስደተኛታት ዘመንጭዋ ሃገራት ንዓዓተን ፀቕጢ ክንገብረለን ኢና ኣብ ንዓዓተን ዝወሃብ ረድኤት ብምሉኡ እዞም ናትኩም ዜጋታት ተወሲድኩሞ ረድኤት ኣይንበኩም ኢና ኢልና ክሳብ ክንገብሮም እዩ ዝብል ከምኡ ፈቲና ከምኡ ገይሩ ከም ዝነበረ እሞ በቃ ንሕና ክንተሓባበር ኢና ቶም ንሕና ስደተኛታት ክንወዞም ይብሉ ከም ዝነበሩ እዩ ዝዘርፅ እዩ
That means two things in day one, right? Drill, baby, drill, and close our borders.
ናይ ድሪል ኣምፅዋ እንደገና ፕላስ ናይ ደባት ምዕቃብ
And by the way, and I think everybody as a Republican, as a patriot in this room, and most Democrats, we want people to come into our country, but they have to come into our country legally. Legally.
ወፃእተኛታት ክመፁ እንደሊ ኢና ክመፁ ከለዉ ግን ብሕጋዊ ብዝኾነ መገዲ ኢና ክመፁ እንደልዮም
Less than 4 years ago, I handed this administration the strongest border in American history. But you can see on the chart that saved my life. That was the chart that saved my life. I said, look at it. I'm so proud of it. I think it's one of the greatest. It was done by the Border Patrol. One of the greatest charts I've ever seen. It showed everything just like that. You know the chart. Oh, there it is. That's pretty good. Wow. Last time I put up that chart, I never
እዚ ትሪእዎ ዘለኹም እቲ ዶባት ዓፂኦሞ ዘለዉ ማለት እዩ
really got to look at it. But without that chart, I would not be here today.
Wow.
Never got to look at it. I said, you got to see this chart. I was so proud of it. And by the time I got to there, I never got to see it that day. But I'm seeing it now, and I was very proud. If you look at the arrow in the bottom, that's the lowest level, the one on the bottom, heavy red arrow. That's the lowest level of illegal immigrants ever to come into our country in recorded history, right there.
እዚ ደሪአኩም ዘሎ ትሪእዎ ዘለኹም ዝኸበርኩም ተኸታተልቲ እዚ ብጫ ዓይነት ህንድዩ ሕጂ እቲ ዝወሓደ ስደተኛታት ዝመፃሉ ንሱ ዝነበረሉ ምዃኑ ንምርኣይ እዩ ዝጥቀመሉ ዘሎ እዚ ቻርተር ማለት እዩ ዋ ኣብቲ ላዕሊ ተሪኢኹሞ illegal immigration into the USA ይብለና ኣሎ ማለት እዩ so
Right there. And that was my last week in office. And then you see what happened after I left. Look at the rest. And if you go out a little bit further, it's getting to be a little bit old, but I love it anyway, right? But you can go much higher with those numbers. Look what happened right after.
እንታይ ድብል ዘሎ ትሪእዎ ኣለኹም ኣብዛ ማእኸል ኣብታ ልዕሊኡ ዘሎ ትሪእዎ ኣለኹም እታ ምልክት ገይሮምላ ዘለዉ ንሱ ዝኸደላ ብኣ በፂሓ ክብ ዝነበረ ዳሕራይ ግን ንሱ ምስ ወረደ ግን እዚ ትሪእዎ ዘለኹም ላዕሊ ገፁ ከይዱ ዘሎ ከምዚ ቀፀለት ናይ ስደተኛታት ምምፃእ ናብ ኣሜሪካ ብዘይሕጋዊ ኣገባብ ዝኣትውሉ ማለት እዩ so
after that, the invasion began. We had the opposite. We stopped the invasion, but the invasion that we stopped was peanuts by comparison to what happened after I left. Look at what happened after I left. They took over our country. We ended all catch and release. We shut down asylum fraud. We stopped human trafficking and forged historic agreements to keep illegal aliens on foreign soil. We want them to stay on their soil. Under the Trump administration, if you came in illegally, you were apprehended immediately and you were deported. You went right back. The current administration terminated every single one of those great Trump policies that I put in place to seal the border. I wanted a sealed border. Again,
ብሓፂሩ እንታይ ዘሎ ድሕሪ ትራምፕ ምውራዱ እቲ ዶም ናይ ዲሞክራት መፂኦም ነቲ እሱ ዝሓንፀፆ ፖሊሲታት ብምሉኡ እንደገና ከም ዘፍረስዎ እዩ ዝገልፅ ዘሎ ንሱ ምስ መፅኻ ብኣንፃሩ ከምኡ ክገብሮ ምዃኑ ይጠቅስ ዘሎ ብብዝሒ ወፃእተኛታት ክመፁ ከም ጀመሩ ድሕሪ ንሱ ምውራዱ እዩ ዝዛረብ ዘሎ
come in, but come in legal. You know how unfair it is? So many people, hundreds of thousands of people have been working for years to come into our country. And now they see these people pour into our country at levels that are unprecedented. It's so unfair. And we're not going to do it. We're not going to stand for it. They suspended wall construction, ended remain in Mexico. We had a policy, remain in Mexico. You think that was easy to get from the Mexican government? But I said, you must give it to us. If you don't give it to us, there will be repercussions. And they gave it to us, but not easy. Canceled our Safe Third agreements, demolished Title 42, implemented nationwide catch and release. That's catch and release where we catch them and release them into our country. We catch them and release them into Mexico. There's a slight difference. And took 93, this is the previous administration, 93 executive actions to throw open our border to the world. The entire world is pouring into our country because of this very foolish administration. The greatest invasion in history is taking place right here in our country. They are coming in from every corner of the earth, not just from South America, but from Africa, Asia, the Middle East. They're coming from everywhere. They're coming at levels that we've never seen before. It is an invasion indeed, and this administration does absolutely nothing to stop them.
ሓፂርኩም ዝሰምዕዎ ዘለኹም እዚ ኸበርኩም ተኻትልቲ ኣሜሪካ ትውረር እያ ዘላ እዩ ዝብሎ ዘሎ ተራእዩ ብዘይፈልጥ መገዲ ብዝሕጂ እዋን ኣዝዮም ብዙሓት ስደተኛታት ካብ ዝተፈላለዩ
They're coming from prison.
ካብ ደቡብ ኣሜሪካ ጥራይ ዘይኮነስ ካብ ኣፍሪቃ ኤሽያ ካብ ማእኸላይ ምዕራብ ዋላ ካብ ኣብያተ እስሪ ቤት እዮም ዝመፁ ዘሎ ብላ
They're coming from jails. They're coming from mental institutions and insane asylums.
ካብቲ ዋላ ኣብያተ ማእሰርትን ኣእምሮኦም ጥዕና ዘይብሎም ዝእሰሩሉ ሆስፒታላት ኣብያተ መእሰርቲ ከይተረፉ እዮም ዝመፁ ዘሎ ይብለና ኣሎ ሰላም ፍስሓ ዘርኡ ምድሪ ባሕሪ ኣይ ኣንደርስታንድ እንታይ ኢኻ ትብላካ ጉዳይ እምንን በትርን ኣይተስራሓናን እያ ካብ ሕጂ ኢልካ ኣለካ ኣይ ቲንክ ሶ እሱ እውን በዓሉ ጠቂስዎ ኣሎ ሰሚዕካ ኣለካ anyway ኣብቲ ሕጊ law and order ገለ ዝብል ነገር ብጣዕሚ ሓደ ካብቲ ፀቂጦም ዝሰርሕሉ እዮም ሪፐብሊካንስ ከም ትፈልጥዎ ማለት እዩ ዝኾነ I think good advice
you know, the press is always on me because I say this. Has anyone seen Silence of the Lambs? The late, great Hannibal Lecter. He'd love to have you for dinner. That's insane asylums. They're emptying out their insane asylums. And terrorists are coming in at numbers that we've never seen before. Bad things are going to happen. Meanwhile, our crime rate is going up while crime statistics all over the world are going down because they're taking their criminals and they're putting them into our country. A certain country, and I happen to like the president of that country very much, but he's been getting great publicity because he's a wonderful shepherd of the country. He says how well the country's doing because their crime rate is down. And he said he's training all of these rough people. They're rough. He's training them. And I've been reading about this for 2 years. I think, oh, that's wonderful. Let's take a look at it. But then I realized he's not training them. He's sending all of his criminals, his drug dealers, his people that are in jails, he's sending them all to the United States. And he's different in that he doesn't say that. He's trying to convince everybody what a wonderful job he does in running the country. Well, he doesn't do a wonderful job. And by the way, if I ran one of the countries, many countries from all over, I would be worse than any of them. I would have had the place totally emptied out already.
anyway እንታይ ዘሎ ምስ ገለ መራሒ ከም ተዘራረበ እዩ ዝገልጽ ዘሎ ከም ዝሰምዑ ኣለኹም ማለት እዩ እታ ዓዲ በቃ ሰጥለጥ ኣቢልዋ ገለ እዩ ዝብል ዘሎ ማለት እዩ ሶ እቲ ምስጢር ግን ነቶም ኣለዉ ዝበሃሉ ማለት ርባሻት ዝኾኑ እታ ሃገር ናብ ይሰደልና ማለት እዩ ናብዚ ካልእ ሃገር ይሰደን እታ ዓዲ ኣነ ነይረ ትኸውን እውን ከምኣቶም ትሕዳልዮም ምስ ካብኣቶም ምዝገደትኩም ኮንኩ እዩ ዝብል ዘሎ
But we become a dumping ground for the rest of the world, which is laughing at us. They think we're stupid. And they can't believe that they're getting away with what they're getting away with, but they're not going to be getting away with it for long. That's what I can tell you.
Yeah, anyway, መጓሓፍዮም ገይሮምና ዘለዉ እዩ ዘሎ በቲ ዝገበርዎ ከዓ ሕጂ ጠኒሖም ኣለዉ ካብ ሕጂ ምኻር ግን ኣይትገብርዎም
In Venezuela, Caracas, high crime. Caracas, Venezuela, really a dangerous place, but not anymore. Because in Venezuela, crime is down 72%. In fact, if they would ever win this election, I hate to even say that, we will have our next Republican convention in Venezuela because it will be safe. Our cities will be so unsafe, we won't be able. We will not be able to have it there. In El Salvador, murders are down by 70%. Why are they down? Now, he would have you convinced that because he's trained murderers to be wonderful people. No. They're down because they're sending their murderers to the United States of America. This is going to be very bad.
anyway, Venezuela ከም ሰማዕኹሞ ማለት እዩ so ዳርጋ ኣዝዩ ብዙሕ ማለት እዩ ክንደይ 70 ክልል ንጠቕሶ እቲ ክራይም ብጣዕሚ ውሒዱ ቀኒሱ ከም ዘሎ ኣብቲ ዓዲ ዝጥቀስ ዘሎ እንተሕዳ ሪፐብሊካንስ መፅኦም ባይ ዘ ወይ እቲ ናህና ሪፐብሊካንስ ኮንቬንሽን ኣብኡ ክንከይዶ ኢና እዩ ዝብል ዘሎ ሶቶም ኣለዉ ዝበሃሉ ክሪሚናልስ ከ ናብዚ ከም ዝስድዎም ይጠቅስ
And bad things are going to happen, and you're seeing it happen all the time. That's why, to keep our families safe, the Republican platform promises to launch the largest deportation operation in the history of our country.
just ምጥራዝ ቀዳማይ ስርሑ እንኳን ይትገልጽ ዘሎ በቃ ሕጋውያን መጻእተኛታት ተልዮም ጥርዝ ምዃኑ ኣነ ስደተኛታት ኣይፈትን እዩ ዲኻ ኣይፈትን እዩ ንሳያ ትጸግሙ ትራምፕ ወናዝሬት ያ ንሳያታ ንዑ ናትጸገም yeah I think that's his weakness a lot
Even larger than that of President Dwight D. Eisenhower from many years ago. You know, he was a moderate, but he believed very strongly in borders. He had the largest deportation operation we've ever had. Just recently, I spoke to the grieving mother of Jocelyn Nungary, a wonderful woman, a precious 12-year-old girl from Houston who last month was tied up, assaulted, and strangled to death after walking to the convenience store just a block away from her house. Her body was dumped near the side of the road in a shallow creek, found by some onlookers who couldn't believe what they had witnessed. Charged with Jocelyn's heinous murder are 2 illegal aliens from Venezuela who came across our border, were in custody, and were then released into the country by this horrible, horrible administration that we have right now. I also met recently.
anyway ናይ ጃስሊን ታሪክ ይገልጽ ዘሎ ኣብዚ ሂስተን ቴክሳስ ብሓፂሩ ተጨውያ ተወሲዳ ደንዳሕራይቲ ማለት እቲ ኮይናቶ ዝተረኽበትሉ ብጣዕሚ ዘስካሕካሕ ምዃኑ እዩ ክገልፆ ፀኒሑ ብሓፂሩ በቶም ናይ ቬኔዙዌላ ዘይሕጋውያን ወፃእተኛታት ዝፈፀምዎ ገበን ምዃኑ ይጠቅስ ዘሎ እዚ ንምንታይ እዩ እቲ ክራይም ብሓፂሩ ንዓበየ ከይድ ከም ዘሎ እቲ ሕማቕካ ናይቲ ዘሎ ስርዓት ምዃኑ ንምጥቃስ እዩ ዘይሕጋውያን ሰራሕተኛታት ሒዞሞ ነይሮም ድሕሪ ለቂቖሞ ኣብቲ ፈለማ ማለት እዩ እንደገና ከም ዝፈፀሞ እቲ ገበን ይጠቅስ
with the heartbroken mother and sister of Rachel Morin. Rachel was a 37-year-old mom of 5 beautiful children who was brutally raped and murdered while out on a run. She wanted to keep herself in good shape. It was very important to her. She was murdered. The monster responsible first killed another woman in El Salvador before he was led into America by the White House. This White House let them in. He then attacked a 9-year-old girl and her mother in a home invasion in Los Angeles before murdering Rachel in Maryland. Traveled all throughout the country, doing tremendous damage. Rachel's mother will never be the same. I spent time with her. She will never be the same.
anyway ነታ ራሄል ተባለ ራቸል ዝብላ ዘሎ ጋል 37 38 ዓመት ብላ ንሳ እውን ዓሚፃ እንደገና ተቐቲላ ከም ፀንሐት እዩ ዝገልጽ ዘሎ ቅድሚያት ወዲ ንዓ ከምኡ ገበን ዝገበረ ወዲ ኤልሳልቫዶር እዩ ነይሩ ቅድሚ እውን ወዲ ጓል 9 ዓመት እውን ተመሳሳሊ ገበን ገይሩ ከም ዝነበረ ይጠቅስ ዘሎ እዚ እውን እቲ ናይቲ መንግስቲ ሕማቕ ምዃኑ ንምግላፅ እዩ ዝጠቕሶ ዘሎ ስቲል ኣብዛ ዓዲ ብነፃ ይንቀሳቐስ ኣሎ ስጋዕ ሕጂ ተረኽበን ዘሎ ብዙሕ ካልእ ገበናት ንፍፅም ከም ዘሎ ይጥቀስ
I've also met with the wonderful family of Laken Riley, the brilliant 22-year-old nursing student. She was so proud of being first in her class, who was out for a jog on the campus of the University of Georgia when she was assaulted, beaten, and horrifically killed. Yet another American life was stolen by a criminal alien set free by this administration. And these were incredible people we're talking about. These were incredible people who died. Tonight, America, this is my vow. I will not let these killers and criminals into our country.
anyway ከምዚ ትሰምዕዎ ዘለኹም እቶም ወፃእተኛታት ኣብ ኣሜሪካ መፂኦም እቶም ብፍላይ እቶም ዘይሕጋውያን ወፃእተኛታት መፂኦም ዝገብርዎ ዘለዉ ገበናት እዩ ዝዝርዝር ዘሎ ገዛኢ ኣብርሃም ከዓ ዋው ብካልእ ኩርናዕ ክትርእየና ከይልካ ማለት ወፃእተኛታት ኣይፀልእን እዩ ክልተ ኣንስቱ ወፃእተኛታት እየን ኢልካየን ኣለኻ ነታ ኣይ ቲንክ ናዝሬት ኢኻ ትምልስ ዘለኻ መስለና ኣይ ቲንክ that's fair to say yeah okay let's continue نسمعيه yeah
I will keep our sons and daughters safe. As we bring security to our streets, we will help bring stability to the world. I was the first president in modern times to start no new wars. You know, we were the toughest, we were the most respected. And you saw this. Hungry, strong country run by a very powerful, tough leader. He's a tough guy. Press doesn't like him because he's tough. And he came out recently. They were asking him at an interview, the whole world is exploding. What's happening? What's going on? Viktor Orban, Prime Minister of Hungary, very tough man. He said, I don't want people coming into my country and blowing up our shopping centers and killing people. But they said to him, tell us what's going wrong, what's happening, what is it? He said, there's only one way you're going to solve it. You got to bring President Trump back to the United States because he kept everybody at bay. He used a word I wouldn't use because I can't use that word. Because you'd say it was braggadocious, the press would say. He was a braggart. I'm not a braggart. But Viktor Orban said it. He said Russia was afraid of him. China was afraid of him. Everybody was afraid of him. Nothing was going to happen. The whole world was at peace. And now the world is blowing up around us. All of these things that you read about were not going to happen.
يا انو غمزي سمعكم مالتي ناي هنغاري بريسيدنت استزاربو بزعبو እዩ እቲ ኣብ ኣሜሪካ ጓኒፉ ዘሎ ዝግበናት ናይ ወፃእተኛታት ዘይሕጋውያን ወፃእተኛታት ምብዛሕ ገለ በቃ ኣሜሪካ ናብ ትራምፕ ክትመልስዎ ኣለኩም ዝዓይነቱ ኢሉ ከም ተዛረበ እዩ ዝገልጽ ብፍላይ ዋላ ቻይናውያን ዋላ ራሽያውያን እውን ብናቱ ፈሪሖም ሰላም ገይሮም ከም ዝነበሩ እዩ ዝገልጽ ዘሎ ማለት እዩ እንታይ እዩ ሓፂሩ لكن بحيلي بفريحهم سلام كم زجبرو ايو قلت لنا الله so
Under President Bush, Russia invaded Georgia. Under President Obama, Russia took Crimea. Under the current administration, Russia is after all of Ukraine. Under President Trump, Russia took nothing.
anyway كم زي سمعكم مالتي أمريكا بجورج بوش ناتا ما حضرت كلها راشاني جورجيا خمزي وسدتها خمزي قوة التا مالتي واب تحتي أبواما خاني كريميا أب ناي بايدن كا كلها راشا كلها يوكرين توزع وسيلة تايلي واي توزع خمزة لا مالتي أب ترامب زنورو اللي جيزاقن ولا حد خمزة قبرت السردة غالاي ቋንቋ እንታይ እዩ በቃ ራሻሲ ፈሪሓ ዝወሰደቶ ስጉምቲ ከም ዘይብሉ ማለት ፑቲን ሲ ሓፂሩ ንትራምፕ ፈሪሑ ዝኾነ ነገር ከም ዘይገበረ እዩ ዝዛረብ ዘሎ
We defeated 100% of ISIS in Syria and Iraq, something that was said to take 5 years, sir. It'll take 5 years, sir. We did it in a matter of a couple of months. We have a great military. Our military is not woke. It's just some of the fools on top that are woke.
እቲ ኣብ ሲርያን ኢራቅን ዝነበረ ናይ ICRC ናይ ኣይሲስ ማለት እዩ ሓፂሩ ደረጋ 100 ከመይ ጥፊናዮም ነርና ኣጥፊናዮም ኢና ዝብል ብሓፂሩ ውዝን 2 ወርሓት ማለት እዩ
I got along very well. North Korea, Kim Jong-un, I got along very well with him. The press hated when I said that. How could you get along with him? Well, you know, it's nice to get along with somebody who has a lot of nuclear weapons or otherwise, isn't it? See, in the old days, they'd say, that's a wonderful thing. Now they say, how could you possibly do that? But no, I got along with them, and we stopped the missile launches from North Korea. Now North Korea is acting up again, but when we get back, I get along with him. He'd like to see me back too. I think he misses me, if you want to know the truth.
anyway ናይ ሰሜን ኮርያ ይዛረብ ዘሎ ሰሚዕኹም ኣለኹም ማለት እዩ ምስኣቶም እውን ፅቡቅ ርክባት ከም ዘለዎ እዩ ዝገልጽ ዘለዎ ከመይ ጌርካ ካብ ምስኣቶም ፅቡቅ ዝርክባ ዝህልወካ ከም ዝብልዎ እዩ ኣብዚ ዝሓለፈ ግዜ ከዓ በቃ ከዓገርግሩ ጀሚሮም ከም ዝኾኑ ናይ ትራምፕ ግዜ ይዛረብ ዘሎ ሕጂ ከዓ ኣነ ምስ ተመለስኩ ከዓ በቃ ጣዕያን ዝፈትውኒ መስለኒ ናፊቕኒ ኣሎ መስለኒ ዝብል ዘሎ
Our opponents inherited a world at peace and turned it into a planet of war. We're in a planet of war. Look at that attack on Israel. Look at what's happening with Ukraine. The cities are just bombed out. How can people live like that where buildings, massive buildings are falling to the ground? It began to unravel with the disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan, the worst humiliation in the history of our country. We have never had a humiliation like that.
anyway እቲ ዝዛረብ ዘሎ እቲ ናይ ዩክሬን ይዛረብ ዘሎ ከመይ ጌርካ ክንበርካል በቃ ፕላሶታት ኣብ ልዕሊኻ ናፀድፈካ ከሎ ናወደቐካ ከሎ ይትገልጽ እቲ ናይ ኣፍጋኒስታን ውን ዝሕፍር ኣብ ታሪክና ዝሕፍር ፍጻሜ ከም ተፈጸመ ዝገልጽ ብሓፂሩ እቲ መንግስቲ ሕጂ ዘሎ ናይ ባይደን ንምውቃስ ዝጥቀመሉ ዘሎ ሜላ እዩ
13 heroic U.S. service members were tragically and needlessly killed. 45 others were horrifically wounded. Nobody ever talks about them. No arms, no legs, face explosions, horrifically wounded. And by the way, we have a man in this room who's running for the U.S. Senate from a great state, Nevada, named Sam Brown, who paid the ultimate price. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Sam. Thank you. He paid the biggest price probably ever paid by anybody that is running for office, and I think he's going to do great. He's running against a person that is not good, not respected, a total lightweight. But Sam, I think, paid really, we were talking about it with some of the senators that are working so hard for Sam, but he paid the biggest price of any senator ever to run for the Senate. I don't think anybody's ever what he did. He was a real hero, a really great person, and he's running, and I hope that everybody gets out and votes for Sam Brown.
ክሪኦ ከኣልና ነዚ ሳም ብራውን ብሎም ድብሎ ሓፂሩ ኣብ ኔቫዳ ንሴኔት ዝወዳደር ዘሎ እዩ ገድሎ ኣካል ይመስለኒ ብዙሕ ሳክሪፋይ ከም ዝገበረ ይዛረብ ዘሎ ንሴኔት ይወዳደር ኣሎ ያ ብሓፈሻ እቲ ኣብቲ ናይ ፎሬን ፖሊሲ እዩ ክዛረብ ፀኒሑ ዘሎ ሰፋር ብስጋብ ሕጂ ያ ምስቲ ናይ ክሳይ ዝገለፆ ነገሩ 13 ከም ዝቆትሉ 45 ከዓ ኣካላቶም ከም ዝቆሰሉ ከም ዝሰኣኑ ከም ተጎዱ እዩ ገሊፁ እዚ ሳም ዝብሎ ዘሎ እውን ሓደ ካብኦም ኣብ ኔቫዳ ይወዳደር ከም ዘሎ ይጣይስዎ
And we also left behind $85 billion worth of military equipment, along with many American citizens were left behind. Many American citizens, emboldened by that disaster, Russia invaded Ukraine. They saw this group of people that were incompetent. We took the soldiers out first. No, we're going to take the soldiers out second. If they would have followed my plan, we had a great plan. But the plan only kicked in if they did everything perfectly, and they weren't doing things perfectly. So we said it doesn't kick in. 18 months in Afghanistan, we didn't have one, so they were killing them left and right, snipers. And I spoke to the head of the Taliban. You've heard this story. Abdul, still there, still the head of the Taliban. The press got on me. Why would you speak to him? I said, because that's where the killing is. I don't have to speak to somebody that has nothing to do with it. And I told him, don't ever do that. Don't ever do that again. Don't ever do that again. You got to stop. Because during the Obama administration, many great people and soldiers, a lot of soldiers were being killed from long distance. I said, if you keep doing that, you're going to be hit harder than anybody's ever been hit by a country before.
ኣብዚ እንታይ ድለኩም ዘሎ ዘይኸበርኩም ተኸታተልቲ ዓብዱል ዝተባህለ እቲ ናይ ኣፍጋኒስታን ናይ ጣሊባን መራሒ ከም ዘዘራርቦ እዩ ዝገልጽ ዘሎ ማለት እዩ ንዑ ራኺበሲ ከመይ ጌርካ ምስኡ ተዛረብ ኢሎምን ኢልዋ እሞ ምስቲ ጉዳይ ዋላ ሓንቲ ጉዳይ ዘይብሉ ዘዛረቦ ምክንያት የብለይ ንሱ እንዲሁ ብዛዕባ ነቲ ጉዳይ ብቐረባ ዝምልከቶ ካልኣይ ግዜ ትግበር ኢልዎ ማለት እዩ ካልኣይ ግዜ ከምኡ ትገብር ኢለዮ እንተኸዳ ከምኡ ጌርካ ዝኾነ ኮነ ሃገርኩም ዓይነት ተደብዲባ ብዘይትፈልጥ ወይ ከዓ ሃሪማ ብዘይፈልጥ ጌራ ሃርመካ ኢለ ይብላ ኣሎ ማለት እዩ so I think ቅድሚ ሕጂ ሰሚዐ ኣለኹ እታ ዝበሎ ብድሕሪኡ ንዑ ረኺቡ ከም ዘዘራርቦ ከማይ እዩ ድሓር ካብዓ ከም ዝሰክሐ እዩ ሳብ ካልእ ሜድያ ሰሚዐ እየ ከም ዝነበርኩ
And he said, I understand, Your Excellency. He called me Your Excellency. I wonder if he calls the other guy Your Excellency. I doubt it. The other guy gave him everything. I mean, what kind of a deal was that? He walked out, gave him everything. Do you know that right now Afghanistan is one of the largest sellers of weapons in the world? They're selling the brand new, beautiful weapons that we gave them. But think of it, he actually said to me, but why do you show me a picture of my home? I said, you'll have to ask your people or one of your wives. But he could figure it out. And for 18 months, we had not one attack on an American soldier by the Taliban.
እንታይ ኢሉ ዘሎ ከምኡ ኢሉ ምስ ተዛረቦ ን18 ወርሓት ዝኸውን ዝኾነ ኩሉ መጥቃዕቲ ከም ዘይነበረ እዩ ትገልጽ ዘሎ ማለት እዩ
18 months.
ገዛኢ መሊሳ ሃልካ ኣላ ናዝሬት
And
ኣብዚ
then we had that horrible day where soldiers were killed. I was not there because of a ridiculous election, but we had that horrible attack. And they also gave up Bagram, one of the biggest bases anywhere in the world, air bases anywhere in the world, the longest runways, most powerful, hardened, thickened runways. We gave it up. And I liked it not because of Afghanistan. I liked it because of China. It's 1 hour away from where China makes their nuclear weapons. And you know who has it now? China has it now. We were keeping that. And now China is likewise circling Taiwan, and Russian warships and nuclear submarines are operating 60 miles off the coast in Cuba. Do you know that? No, the press refuses to write about it. If that were me running this country and we had nuclear submarines in Cuba, I will tell you that headlines every day would be, what's wrong with our president? You don't even hear this. You're not hearing about this. Russia has nuclear submarines and warships 60 miles away, Mr. Congressman, from Miami, by the way, happens to be here. Correct? In Cuba. And that would not be stood for if it were somebody else. They don't want to mention it, but now maybe they will. And the entire world, I tell you this, we want our hostages back, and they better be back before I assume office, or you will be paying a very big price. With our victory in November, the years of war, weakness, and chaos will be over. I don't have wars. I had no wars other than ISIS, which I defeated, but that was a war that was started. We had no wars. I could stop wars with a telephone call. I could stop wars with just a telephone call. If properly stated, it would never start. We will replenish our military and build an Iron Dome missile defense system to ensure that no enemy can strike our homeland. And this great Iron Dome will be built entirely in the USA. We're going to build it in the USA. And Wisconsin, just like I gave you that massive ship contract, and you're doing a very nice job, Governor, right? Thank you, Governor. And they're doing a great job. In fact, I had a little design change, and we gave them a tremendous for essentially what we used to call destroyers. These are now the most beautiful. They look like yachts. I said, we have to take the bow and we have to make it a little nicer and a little point at the top instead of a flat nose. And the people at the shipyard said, this guy sort of knows what he's doing. We have most beautiful ships, right, Governor? And everybody's sitting over there. And it was a big contract that everybody wanted. I gave it to Wisconsin, but we're going to have a lot of that built right here in the state of Wisconsin and all other states. Israel has an Iron Dome. They have a missile defense system. 342 missiles were shot into Israel, and only one got through a little bit. It was badly wounded. It fell to the ground, but most of them are. And Ronald Reagan wanted this many years ago, but we really didn't have the technology many years ago. Remember, they called it Starship, spaceship, anything to mock him. But he was a very good president, very, very good. But now we have unbelievable technology. And why should other countries have this and we don't? No, we're going to build an Iron Dome over our country, and we're going to be sure that nothing can come and harm our people. And again, from an economic development standpoint, We're going to make it all right here. No more sending it out to other countries in order to help. It's America first. America first. We will unleash the power of American innovation. And as we do, we will soon be on the verge of finding the cures to cancer, Alzheimer's disease, and many other diseases. We're going to get to the bottom of it. You remember this gentleman that I don't want to mention other than one time I had to, because when you say the 10 worst, I had to do it. I didn't want anybody to be confused. But this man said, we're going to find a cure to cancer. Nothing happened. We're going to get to the cure for cancer and Alzheimer's and so many other things. We're so close to doing something great. But we need a leader that will let it be done. We will not have men playing in women's sports. That will end immediately.
ዝኸበርኩም ተኸታተልቲ ይኹን
And we
ግዜ
will
ንምቕጣብ
restore
ክውደእ
and
እንደኒ
renovate our
ወዳዮ ሓዳዋ
nation's
ልሞ
once great cities, making them safe, clean, and beautiful again. And that includes our nation's capital, which is a horrible killing field. So many things. They leave from Wisconsin, they go to look at the Washington Monument, they end up getting stabbed, killed, or shot. We will be very soon very proud of our capital, again, Washington, D.C. America is on the cusp of a new golden age, but we will have the courage to seize it. We're going to take it. We're going to make it a current. We're going to bring this into a golden age like never seen before. Remember this, China wants to do it. Japan wants to do it. All of these countries want to do it. We have to produce massive amounts of energy if we're going to produce the new. If you look at some of the things that have been done and some of the things that we're going to do, but AI needs electricity that's available now in our country. Can you imagine? But instead, we're spending places where they recharge electric cars. They built 8 chargers at a certain location toward the Midwest. 8 chargers for $9 billion. Think of them as a tank for filling up your gas. Think of it. They spent $9 billion on 8 chargers, 3 of which didn't work. And if you are going to do this all over our country, this crazy electric mandate, if you're going to do this all, and by the way, I'm all for electric. They have their application. But if somebody wants to buy a gas-powered car, gasoline-powered car, or a hybrid, they're going to be able to do it. And we're going to make that change on day 1. So to conclude, just a few short days ago, my journey with you nearly ended. We know that. And yet, here we are tonight, all gathered together, talking about the future, promise, and a total renewal of a thing we love very much. It's called America. We live in a world of miracles. None of us knows God's plan or where life's adventure will take us. I want to thank Franklin Graham for being here tonight. He's an outstanding man. He wrote me a note recently. I have a lot of respect for him. Sir, I love your storytelling. I think it's great in front of these big rallies. But sir, please do me one favor. It won't make any difference. Please don't use any foul language. I was a little embarrassed. I said, he said, it won't make any difference. Actually, it does. The story's not quite as good, but I've been very good. The story is not quite as good, to be honest. I've got to have a little talk with Franklin, but he was great.
Wow.
He's a great gentleman. His father was so incredible. Billy Graham. My father used to love taking me to see Billy Graham. My father would take me to see Billy Graham at Yankee Stadium. He had the biggest rallies you've ever seen. He was a good rally guy, too. But he'd get up, and he was a fantastic guy. My father loved Billy Graham. But I love Franklin Graham. I think Franklin's been fantastic. And I'm working so hard to adhere to his note to me. I'm working hard on it, Franklin.
ዝኸበርኩም ተኸታተልቲ anyway እዚኣ very very interesting እዩ ከም ትፈልጥዎ ናይ ትራምፕ ሰባት ከም ትፈልጥዎ ንሕና ስደተኛታት ወፃእተኛታት ገለ ብዛዕባ ናይ ኢሚግሬሽን ፖሊሲ እዚን ከምዚ ክንብል ንኽእል ኢና ግን ብዙሓት ሰባት ከዓ ኣብቲ ባህርያት ናቱ ኣብቲ ቋንቋ ናቱ ኣብቲ ዘራርባ ናቱ ገለ ብዙሓት ሰባት ብኡ በቲ ፖሊሲታት ዘይኮነስ በቲ ኣዘራርቡ ክሳይ ከም ዝገብሩ እዮም ግን ፍራንክሊን ቢልግራም ኖት ከም ዝፀሓፈሉ ይክገልፅ ፀኒሑ which is very 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 interesting ማለት እዩ እቲ ፀርፊ ግደፍ ኢልዎ ማለት እዩ ብሓፂሩ እቲ ሕማቕ ዘረባታት ግደፎ ኢልዎ ከም ዝተዛረቦ እዩ እንዳሰራሕ ኩሉ እየ ኢልዎ ማለት እናፃዓርኩ እየ ክገድፎ እዩ ዝብል ዘሎ ግን ኣቦኡ ከዓ ቢልግራም ከዓ ኣቦኡ ንትራምፕ ንቢልግራም ይፈትዎ ከም ዝነበረ እውን ጠቂስዎ ኣሎ ማለት እዩ anyway this is very interesting ማለት ከምቲ ትፈልጥዎ ኣብ ሕብረተሰብና ከምቲ
But at the events of last Saturday,
ናና ክሳይ ዝገበርዎ ማለት ናና ኣማኒ እዞም ባይንጠንስ ዝገበርዎ ናብ ሲያስ ዓይነት ዘረባ እዩ ክኾን ዘለዎ ማለት እዩ ሪኢኹም መራሕቲ እምነታት ነቲ ሕማቕ ዝርእይዎ ነገራት ከምኡ ይትግበር ክብሉ ንመራሕቲ ብጣዕሚ ኣዝዩ ኣገዳሲ እዩ ስለዚ ብጣዕሚ ፅቡቅ እዩ ገይሩ ፍራንክሊን ትራምፕ ማለት ትራምፕ ሓደ ካብቲ ፅዩፍ ዝኾነ ዘረባ ዝዛረቦ ክሳይ
they make anything clear, it is that every single moment we have on earth is a gift from God. We have to make the most of every day for the people and for the country that we love. The attacker in Pennsylvania wanted to stop our movement, but the truth is the movement has never been about me. It has always been about you. It's your movement. It's the biggest movement in the history of our country by far. Can't be stopped. It can't be stopped. It has always been about the hardworking, patriotic citizens of America. For too long, our nation has settled for too little. We settled for too little. We've given everything to other nations, to other people. You have been told to lower your expectations and to accept less for your families. I am here tonight with the opposite message. Your expectations are not big enough. Not big enough. It is time to start expecting and demanding the best leadership in the world, leadership that is bold, dynamic, relentless, and fearless. We can do that. We are Americans. Ambition is our heritage. Greatness is our birthright. But as long as our energies are spent fighting each other, our destiny will remain out of reach. And that's not acceptable. We must instead take that energy and use it to realize our country's true potential and write our own thrilling chapter of the American story. We can do it together. We will unite. We are going to come together, and success will bring us together. It is a story of love, sacrifice, and so many other things. And remember the word devotion. It's unmatched devotion. Our American ancestors crossed the Delaware, survived the icy winter at Valley Forge, and defeated a mighty empire to establish our cherished republic. They fought so hard, they lost so many. They pushed thousands and thousands of miles across a dangerous frontier, taming the wilderness to build a life and a magnificent home for their family. They packed their families into covered wagons, trekked across hazardous trails, scaled towering mountains, and braved rivers and rapids to stake their claim on the wide open, new, and very beautiful frontier. When our way of life was threatened, American patriots marched onto the battlefield, raced into enemy strongholds, and stared down death and stared down those enemies to keep alive the flame of freedom. At Yorktown, Gettysburg, and Midway, they joined the roll call of immortal heroes. So many just so many heroes, so many great, great people. And we have to cherish those people. We can't forget those people. We have to cherish those people. And building monuments to those great people is a good thing, not a bad thing. They saved our country. No challenge was too much. No hardship was too great. No enemy was too fierce. Together, these patriots soldiered on and endured, and they prevailed because they had faith in each other, faith in their country, and above all, they had faith in their God. Just like our ancestors, we must now come together, rise above past differences. Any disagreements have to be put aside and go forward, united as one people, one nation, pledging allegiance to one great, beautiful, I think it's so beautiful, American flag. Tonight, I ask for your partnership, for your support, and I am humbly asking for your vote. I want your vote. It's going to make our country great again. Every day I will strive to honor the trust you have placed in me, and I will never, ever let you down. I promise that. I will never let you down. To all of the forgotten men and women who have been neglected, abandoned, and left behind, you will be forgotten no longer. We will press forward, and together we will win, win, win. Win, 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 win. Nothing will sway us, nothing will slow us, and no one will ever stop us. No matter what dangers come our way, no matter what obstacles lie in our path, we will keep striving toward our shared and glorious destiny, and we will not fail. We will not fail. Together, we will save this country. We will restore the republic, and we will usher in the rich and wonderful tomorrows that our people so truly deserve. America's future will be bigger, better, bolder, brighter, happier, stronger, freer, greater, and more united than ever before. And quite simply put, we will very quickly make America great again. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Wisconsin. God bless you. God bless you, Wisconsin, and God bless the United States of America, our great country. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
رأي خبركم تخاتلتي غنزي خصمعوا لتصنعكم مالتي بريسيدنت قصوي توداداري ناي ريبابليك بريسيدنت نبر ترامب لو معتي مالتي لو اوريدي كا درجة عرب خوين يجن اب حاموس مشيت كرمي توسن ساعات مالتي لو معتي اب ناي امريكا ناي ريبابليكانس وكيلو ወዳደር ምዃኑ ፍፂነት ዝተቐበለሉ መዓልቲ ኢና ሰኒኹም ሰማዕፀን ኢሕና ኣብ ብዙሕ ነገራት እዩ ዘይለዓሎ ነገራት የለን ብፍላይ ኣብቲ ናይ ስደተኛታት ፀቒጡ ዝተዛረበሉ ምዃኑ ባዕልኻትኩም ሰሚዕኹም ኣለኹም እቲ መጨረሻ ዝተዛረቦ እቶም ሆስቴጅ ዘለዉ ሓደ ካብቲ ዘለዓሎ ነገራት ነይሩ ኣሜሪካውያን ኣብ ደገ ተታሒዞም ዘለዉ ቀጥፎም ክመሶም ኣለዎም ብዘይኮይነ ከቢድ ዋጋ ክኸፍሉ እዮም ኢሉ እውን ተዛሪቡ ኣሎ ከምዚ ዝሰማዕኹሞ ዘይለዓሎ ነገራት ዳርጋ የለን ብዛዕባ ናይ እስራኤል ኣልዒሉ ኣሎ ብዛዕባ ናይ ኢኖቬሽን እውን ኣልዒሉ ኣሎ ብዛዕባ ናይ ኣይሮን ዱም ካቲ ወተሃደራዊ ናይ ኒውክሌር መከላኸሊ ዝኸውን ኣፅዋራት እውን ንዕኡ ተመሊሱ ዝበለፀ ክህነት ከም ዘለዎ እውን ተዛረበሉ ኣጋጣሚታት እዩ ዘሎ ብዙሕ ነገራት ይልዕሉ ዝመጨረሽታ ብሓፂሩ ኣሜሪካ እንደገና ዝዓበየት ሓየለት ዝተብዕት እንደገና ተሓድነት እውን ናብ ንቡር ክንመልሶ ምዃኑ ይገሊፁ ደው ዘብለና ነገራት ከም ዘይብሉ ኣሜሪካ ደው ዘብላ ነገር ኣካል ከም ዘየለ ብዝኾነ ይኹን መገዲ ብድሕሪት ኣይክንምለስ ዲና ኢሉ ተዛረበሉ እዩ ዘሎ ስለዚ ነዚ ንክንገብር ካብ ንስኻትኩም ኩላኻትኩም ኣብ ጎነይ ክትኮኑ ክትመርፁኒ ይላወበኩም ኢሉ ዝተዛረበሉ ነገራት ኣሎ ዝኾነ ሎማዓንቲ ከምቲ ዝሰማዕኹሞ ማለት እዩ ኣሜሪካ ዳግም መብፅዖም ክሕድሱ ከም ዘለዎም ዳግም እንደገና ዘለዎም ሃንቀውታ ንምዕባይ ምስልጣን ከበራብርዎ ከም ዘለዎም ዘተባብዖም ኢና ንሰምዕ ፀኒሕና ማለት እዩ ካልእ ብዛዕባ ናይ ሕማም ዝምልከት ነገራት ናይ ካንሰር ይኹን ናይ ኣልዛይመርስ ይኹን ካልእ ነገራት እውን ኢንቨስት ተገይሩ ንዑ እውን እቲ ግቡእ ሕክምና ዝርከበሉ መገዳት ክፅዕር ምዃኑ እዩ ተዛሪቡ ዘሎ ማለት እዩ ስለዚ ብዝኾነ ይኹን መገዲ ኤንወይ ዳርጋ ኣብዚ እዚኣተ ናይ መጨረሻ ሓስቦ ኖቴን መስለን ኣብ ናይ መጨረሻ ተዛረቦ ዘይኮነ ብሓፈሻ እንድሕሪ ተመሊስኩም ክሰምዕዎ ትኽእሉ ኢኹም ዋላ መብዛሕትኩም እውን ምናልባት እዚ ነቶም እንግሊዝኛ ዘይክእሉ ኣብ ደገ ዘለዉ ይኹን ኣብ ካልእ ዘለዉ ወረት ሓገዘ ካብ ዝብል እምበር ኣሜሪካ ዘለኹም ከዓ ብዙሕ ፀገማት ዘለኩም ኣይኮንኩምን ያ ኤንወይ ገለ ካብቲ እቲ ሃይላይት ዝገበሮ ነገራት ንምልዓል እዩ እምበር ኩሉ ሓደ ብሓደ እኳ ዳርጋ ይሓስብዎን እውን ግን ብዝኾነ ከምዚ ዝሰማዕኹሞ ሎማዓንቲ ትራምፕ ወግዒ ሪፐብሊካን ተወኪሉ ዝወዳደር ምዃኑ ተረጋገፀሉ ኢና ዘለና ከምዚ ትሪእዎ 78 ዓመት ገይሩ ትራምፕ ምዃድ ድሕሪት ዘጓነፎ እንደገና ንክንድዚ ዝኣክል መዓልታት ማለት እዩ ንኣርባዕተ መዓልታት ኣብኡ እቲ መድረኻት ይቐንዩ እንደገና ካብዚ መጨረሻ ከም ዝረኣኹሞ ሓያል ዝኾነ ዘረባ እዩ ተዛሪቡ ብጣዕሚ ኣዝዩ ፅናዕ ምዃኑ ደሪእካ ከም ሰብ ማለት እዩ እቲ ከም ሰብ ብጣዕሚ ፅንዓ ዘለዎ ሰብ ምዃኑ ደሪእካ ምክንያቱ ምስ ማህሮም ትፈልጡ ወፂኡ ክስታይ ምዝራቡ ብጣዕሚ ዓብዪ ነገር እዩ ካልእ እቲ ተደጋጋሚ ዘተባሃልናሉ ነገርካ ንእግዚኣብሔር ክብሪ ዝሃበሉ ኣጋጣሚ ኢና ዘለና ናይ ዝኾነ ይኹን ነዚ ሞመንቱም ከማ ነዚ እዋን እዚ እውን እግዚኣብሔር ዝቆፃፀሮ ምዃኑ ዘይካ እግዚኣብሔር ካልእ ዝቆፃፀር ኣካል ከም ዘየለውን ኩሉ ክብሪ ንእግዚኣብሔር ክወስድ ከም ዘለዎ ዝተዛረበሉ ኣጋጣሚታት ይብና ኣሎ ማለት እዩ ሶ ኤንወይ ብሕፅር ብዝበለ ነዚታት ይመስል ነይሩ ፈለማ ዝተዛረቦ ኣይተንክኽዎን ዘለኹም በር ዘይለዓሎ ነገራት የለን ኣብ ናይ ቁጠባ ተዛሪቡ ሰሚዕኹሞ ኣብ ናይ ኢሚግሬሽን ጉዳይ ብብዝሒ ተዛሪቡ ናይ ወፃኢ ጉዳያትን ተዛሪቡ ናይ ቁጠባ ብፍላይ ብኣስፋሕ ኣቢሉ ዝተዛረበሉ ኣጋጣሚታት እዩ ዘሎ ብዛዕባ ኣብቲ ናይ ፎሬን ፖሊሲ ናብ ቻይና ናብ ራሽያ ኣተኪሩ ዝተዛረበሉ ከም ዘሎ ብዛዕባ ናይ ምስኡ ጎኑ እቲ ዘሎ ናይ ባይደን ስርዓት እውን ብዙሕ እዚ ዓዲ ኣብ ብዙሕ ቅልውላው ከም ዘእተዋ እውን ብዝተፈላለየ መገዲ ኣብ ቁጠባ ይኹን ኣብ ናይ ወፃኢ ፖሊሲ ይኹን ኣብ ናይ ዩክሬን ይኹን ካልኦትን ብተደጋጋሚ ዝገልፀሉ ኣጋጣሚ እዩ ዘሎ ምስቲ ናይ ዩክሬን ዝተተሓሓዘ ዳርጋ ከምቲ ሰማዕኹሞ ማለት እዩ ኣብ ግዜ ቡሽ ንጆርጅያ ክቆፃፀር ከም ዝገበራ ራሻ ኣብ ግዜ ኦባማ እንደገና ንክሬምያ ናይ ባይደን ከዓ ንዩክሬን ብምሉእ ክቆፃፀራ ከም ዝፍቲ ዘሎ ወይ ከዓ ምትቆፃፀራ ኣብቲ እሱ ዝነበረሉ ግን ወላ ሓደ ቭላድሚር ፑቲን ወይ ከዓ ራሻ ዝኾነ ይኹን ሰላም ገብሩ ከም ዝነበሩ እዩ ተዛሪቡ ማለት እዩ ብሓፂር ጀካቲ ናይ ኣይሲስ ምዃኑ ኣይሲስ ከዓ ከምዚ ኣብ ትሕቲ ቁፅር ከም ዘእተዎም እዩ ገሊፁ ማለት እዩ ሶ ኤንወይ እዚ ሓፈሻዊ ኣብ ኩሉ መዳያት ናይ ፅላታት ናይ መንግስቲ ኣሜሪካ ብፍላይ ናይ ዶብ ዝምልከት ናይ ዶባት ዝምልከት ውሑስ ኣሜሪካ ውሕስትን ብዶባታት ዝወሓሰን ቁጠባ ዝማዕበለት ክገብራ ምዃኑ እዩ ዝዛረብ ዘሎ ሶ እቲ ዝተመፃበዖ ክገብሮ እንደይክገብሮን ገና ክምረፅ ከም ዘለዎ እውን ጠቂስዎ ኣሎ ምረፁኒ እዚ እንተሕዳ መሪፅኩምኒ ዓድና እንደገና ዳግም ከነሐድሳ ኢና ዳግም ከነማዕብላ ኢና ብኩሉ መዳያይቲ ዝብል ዘሎ ማለት እዩ ስለዚ ሓፈሻዊ ነዚ ይመስል ነይሩ ናዝሬት ተንኪ ሶማች ሓዊ ኣይሰማዕኸዮ ነርኪ ኦኬ ተንኪ ሶማች ናዝሬት ሓፍተይ ኣይ ቲንክ ኣይተወት ብዙሕ መብዛሕትኩም ዳርጋ ብእንግሊዝኛ ገለስ ዝፅሕፉ ስለዝሪአኩም እየ ሶ ኤንወይ እቲ ትራምፕ ዳርጋ ከምዚ ዝረኣኹሞ ዘይለዓሎ ኣርእስቲ የለን ዋና ኣብቲ ፈለማ እውን ሰሚዕኹም ኣለኹም ኩነታት ከመይ ከም ዘጓነፈ ሰባት ዝገርምና እንታይ ይጓኒፉ ከም ዝበልዎ እሞ ንዑ ክገልፅ ከም ዝፈተነት ፈለማ ዘጓነፉ ኩነታት እውን ገሊፁ እዩ ድሕሪኡ ኣብቲ ካልእ መግለፂታት እዩ ኣትዩ ማለት እዩ ብዙሕ ግዜ ንባይደን እውን የልዕሎ ነይሩ እቲ ዘሎ መንግስቲ እንዳበለ ብዙሕ ሸነኻት ነዛ ዓዲ ከም ዝሃሰይዋ እዩ ዝዛረብ ብፍላይ ኣብዛ ዓዲ ብዙሓት ዘይሕጋውያን ወፃእተኛታት ይወፁ ከም ዘለዉ ክራይም ይበዝሕ ከም ዘሎ ዝገለፀሉ ኣጋጣሚታት እውን ኣሎ ማለት እዩ ኤኒዌይ እቲ ሓፈሻዊ ናይ ትራምፕ መደረ ነዚ ይመስል ነይሩ ኣብ ኣሜሪካ ዓብዪ ታሪካዊ ፍፃሜ ተፈፂሙ ዘሎ ከም ዝሰማዕኹሞ ከም ዝተኸታተልኩሞ ማለት እዩ ብዕለት 13 ኣብ ልዕሊኡ ዝተገብረ ናይ ቅትለት ፈተነ ንዕኡ ካብኡ ወፂኡ እንደገና ኣብ ናይ ሪፓብሊካንስ ናይ ሃገራዊ ዋዕላ ዝገብርዎ ማለት እዩ ኣብ ነፍሲ ወከፍ 4 ዓመት ተኣኪቦም ነቲ ሰልፊ ዝውክል መራሒ ዝመርፅሉ ኣጋጣሚ ነይሩ ስለዚ ካብ ዕለት 15 ጀሚሮም ስጋዕ ዕለት 18 ሓቢሮም ካብ ዝተፈላለየ ኣስቴታት እንኮላይ ናይተን ደሴታት ከይተረፋ ኣብ ሓደ ተኣኪቦም መራሕቶም ዝመርፅሉ ማለት እዩ ዳርጋ መብዛሕትኡ ግዜ እቲ ምርጫ ብማንዛ እዩ ነይሩ ወይ ከዓ ብኤሌክትሮኒክስ እዩ ነይሩ እቲ ምርጫ እቲ ዝገበርዎ ምርጫ ግን ንትራምፕ ከም ሕፁይ ተወዳዳራይ ንፕሬሲደንት ገይሮም መሪፆሞ ኣለዉ ማለት እዩ ብወገን ናይ ዲሞክራት ከዓ ኣብ ዝመፅእ ዘሎ ወርሒ ተመሳሳሊ ክግበር ምኳኑ እዩ ተፈሊጡ ዘሎ ኣብኡ ከዓ ብዙሓት ሓየልቲ ዕዱማት ክመፁ እዮም ባይዘወይ እዚ ናይ ሪፓብሊካንስ እውን ዳርጋ ሕጂ ብታ ናይ ትራምፕ ጥራይ ኣተኪርና ዳ እምበር ኣዝዮም ብዙሓት ኣብዛ ዓዲ ኣዝዮም ፀለውቲ ዝኾኑ ኣብ ዝተፈላለየ መዳይ ብፍላይ ሴኔተራት ዓበይቲ መራሕቲ ከይተረፉ ዋላ ስፖርታውያን ከይተረፉ መፅኦም ዝተዛረበሉ ኣጋጣሚ እዩ ዘሎ ስለዚ ኣዝዩ ኣጋጣሚ እቲ ናይ ትራምፕ ኣብ ልዕሊኡ ዝወረደ ነቲ ናይ ሪፓብሊካን ሰልፊ ሪፓብሊካንስ ንሓድነቶም ከዕቅቡ እቲ ዝነበሮም ፍልልያት እንደገና ገዲፎም ኩሎም ኣብ ሓደ ንክመፁ ሓጊዝዎም ዝብል ርእቶ እዩ ዘለኒ ኣብዚ ሕጂ እዋን ዓንተ ወይ ርኢ ነይረ ኣብዚ ኣብ ሂስተን ቴክሳስ ዝተገብረ መፅናዕታዊ ክሳያት ነይሩ ብዙሓት ኣብዚ ሕጂ እዋን ትራምፕ ደገፍ ይረግብ ከም ዘሎ ተሰማዕኩሉ ዝረኣኩሉ ኣጋጣሚታት ኣሎ ንኣብነት ኣብ ከሪአኩም ክእል እየ ማለት እዩ ዓንተ ወይ ዘስተባሃልክዎ ማለት እዩ እንታይ ዝብል ናይ ቴክሳንስ ላይክሊ ቱ ቮት ፎር ትራምፕ ይብል ኣብዚ እንተዳ ሪኢኹሞ ሪዎት ፍሊኹም ኣብዚ እንተዳ ሪኢኹሞ ዳርጋ ብላክ ቮተርስ ይብል ኣሎ እቶም ፀለምቲ ኣብ ጁን 16 ኣብ ኤፕሪል 11 ነይሩ ናብ 16 ከም ዝደየበ የርእየና ማለት እዩ ኣብ ላቲኖ ቮተርስ ከዓ ይብለና 41 ነይሩ ናብ 45 ከም ዝደየበ ዓንተ ወይ ኣብዚ ናይ መፅናዕቲ ዝተገብረ የርእየና ማለት እዩ ዝኾነ ትራምፕ እቲ ኣብ ልዕሊኡ ዘጓነፈ ኣብዚ ሕጂ እዋን ዋላ ንዕኡ ደገፍ ክረክብ ሓጊዝዎ ከም ዘሎ ክነስተፍል ንኽእል ኢና እዚ መፅናዕቲ እዚ ብናይ ዩኒቨርሲቲ ኦፍ ሂስተን ከምኡውን ቴክሳስ ሳውዘርን ዩኒቨርሲቲ ዝተገብረ መፅናዕቲ እዩ ስለዚ እቶም ፀለምቲ ብ5 ሚእታዊት ኣብቲ ናይቶም ናይ ላቲኖ ከዓ ተመሳሳሊ ብ4% ወሲኹ ከም ዘሎ ዝገልፅ እዩ ማለት እዚ ነዚ ካብ ሓፈሻዊ እንትትፈልጥዎ ኣብ ናይ ፀለምቲ ኩኑ ኣብ ናይ ስፓኒሽ ብዙሕ ግዜ ዲሞክራት ከም ዝድግፉ እዩ ዝፍለጥ ኣብዚ ሕጂ እዋን ግን ገለ ክፋል ናይ ትራምፕ ደገፍ ከርእዩ ጀሚሮም ከም ዘለዉ ዘርእየና ምልክታት ኢና ንርኢ ዘለና ማለት እዩ ትመስል ዝኸበርኩም ተኸታተልቲ ከምዚ ትሪእዎ ዘለኹም ኣብዚ ሕጂ እዋን ናይ ሪፓብሊካንስ ዝወድብሉ ኣጋጣሚ ኢና ንርኢ ዘለና ኣብ ኣሜሪካ ኣዝዩ ዓብዪ ታሪካዊ ፍፃሜ ዝፍፀም ዘሎ ተመሳሳሊ ዓድና እውን ሓደ መዓልቲ ከምዚ ተመሳሳሊ ክርእየና ተስፋ ንገብር ወይ ናይ ሎማዓንቲ ፅርሓኒ ኣይቲንክ ከምኡ ክንዛዝማ ኢና በዛ ዘላ ሎማዓንቲ ካልእ መደብ ተወሳኺ ነይሩ ዝሓስብዎ ግን ኣጋጣሚ ኮይኑ ኣይቲንክ ኣኽልና እዩ እዚ ናይ ትራምፕ መደብ እውን ነዊሕ ዝነበረ ከምዚ ትሪእዎ ዘለኹም እዚኦም ቤተሰብ ናይ ትራምፕ እዮም ናይ ፕሬዚደንት ትራምፕ ስለዚ እቲ ዝካየድ ተሓሲቡ ዘሎ ምርጫ ኣብቲ ዝመፅእ ሎ ሕዳር እዩ ማለት እዩ ድሕሪ 4 ወርሒ ኣብ ኣሜሪካ ፕሬዚደንታዊ ምርጫ ክግበር እዩ ብወገን ናይ ዲሞክራት ስጋብ ሕጂ ባይደን ክገብር ምዃኑ እዩ ተፈሊጡ ዘሎ ምናልባት ብዙሓት ባይደን እቲ ዘለዎ ሽምግልና ክቕየር ከም ዘለዎ ሓሳባት ዘቕርቡ ከም ዘለዉ ኢና ንሰምዕ ዘለና ኣብ መወዳእታ እንታይ ክገብሩ እዮም 3-4 ወርሒ ተሪፍዎ ዘሎ ብሕጂ እዋን ገና ካልእ መራሒ ገይሮም ክገብሩ ብጣዕሚ ከፀግሞም ይኽእል እዩ ዳርጋ ኣብዚ ሕጂ እዋን ብብዝሒ ሰብ ንትራምፕ ክመፅእ ከም ትኽእል እዩ ዝፍለጥ ዘሎ ማለት ይመስሉ ዘሎ ንሓቢርና ክንሪኦ ኢና ናበይ ገፅ ከም ዘብል ዝኸበርኩም ተኸታተልቲ ኣብ ሕጂ እንድሓር እውን ተኸታታሊ ሓደ ሓደ ገደስቲ ዝበልናዮ ነገራት ብቐፃሊ ክነቕርበልኩም ትፍትን ኢና ምክንያቱ ናይ ኣሜሪካ ፖለቲካ ካብ ብፍላይ ኣብ ዝነብር ጥራይ ዘይኮነስ ዋላ ብሃገር ደረጃ እውን ይፀሉ ስለዝኾነ ክንርድኦ መታይ ሓስብ እንታይ ይብል ኣሎ ኣብ ምንታይ ጉዳያት ክነብል ክንርድኦ ኣገዳሲ እዩ ስለዚ እዚ ብወገን ናይ ኣሜሪካ ከምዚ ትሪእዎ ዘለኹም ትራምፕ ኣብዚ ሕጂ እዋን ምስቲ ምክትል ፕሬዚደንት ገይሩ መሪፅዎ ዘሎ JD Vance ዝተባህለ ወዲ 38 ዓመት ኢና ንሪኦ ዘለና ኣብዚ ሕጂ እዋን ብሓባር ከምዚታት እዩ ትመስል ዝኸበርኩም ተኸታተልቲ ኣብዚ ሕጂ እዋን ኣብ ኣሜሪካ ዓብዪ ታሪካዊ ፍፃሜ እዩ ዝፍፀም ዘሎ ሓቢርና ክንሪኦ ኢና ክንከታተሎ ኢና ሎማዓንቲ ኣብዚ ከኣኽለና እዩ ኣብ ዘለኹሞ ሰላም
ለውጥ ኸይና ምስስ ክንውፍ ኣለና ክንፈርህ የብልና ክንተባዕ ኣለና ሰብሲ ኣይትፍራሕ የብሉ ንሕጊ ፍራሕ ንዝገየ ፍራሕ